That would be perfectly okay with me to be able to do that. So we're supposed to be on the road today to Showtime Cards. We have Wild Card Wednesdays once a month, and we were actually just there a couple of weeks ago prior to Super Bowl 60, which took place over this past Sunday. But our friend George Maris is still dealing with a little bit of an illness, and he was not available to be with us when we were there a few Wednesdays ago. So we have rescheduled that show for 2 more weeks from now, February the 25th. So 2 weeks from today, we'll be back out, and it'll really match more of the month in between shows since we were just out there in late January. Unfortunately, though, that means that we will not. I was hoping maybe to take the show up to Pima College that day for their sophomore day, final home game of the season for both the nationally ranked basketball teams. But we'll see if we can find another day to get up there because I would imagine, well, we know for a fact that the Pima College men are going to be hosting the regionals because they are absolutely one of the best teams in the country. The women probably, potentially, obviously they had the win over Mesa a few weeks ago, and there's still some work to do as we get down to the final stages of the junior college basketball season as well. But they may be able to get that number 1 seed and host. And so if there's regional hosting up there midweek, we may try to get up there for that because we've not done a show up at Pima College, and I want to do a show up there for sure. So if we can't find one during basketball season to celebrate their phenomenal basketball programs, we might see if we can find an afternoon when there's some baseball going on up there, baseball and softball together, and take the shows up there and really celebrate our great junior college here in Southern Arizona. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program, 520-848-1290. So we are now 2 days removed from Arizona's first loss of the season. We were awaiting that awesome, or at least we were told, this awesome announcement from the Big 12 Conference, which we thought was going to be yesterday, because that's initially what we were all told by the commissioner of the conference, Mr. Brett Yormark. But apparently Mr. Yormark misspoke and got his days mixed up and got his dates mixed up. And the announcement was actually not supposed to be yesterday. It was supposed to be today. Well, today we did, in fact, get the grand announcement from the Big 12 Conference involving the conference tournaments. And again, they're going to be back-to-back weeks coming up here in just a few weeks. The ladies will go first the first week in March. The men will go second the second week in March, both in Kansas City, Missouri. We have not attended one of these events quite yet in Kansas City, Missouri. I would imagine that would be a whole lot of fun. I don't know that I'm planning to go this year, but, who knows? Things are subject to change. So what was announced today by the Big 12 Conference is that for the first time, something called an ASB glass floor is going to be utilized for this tournament. A glass floor, which apparently they can project images onto. They sent out a video. I believe I shared that video on our Twitter account. If I did not, I will share it for you coming up here a little bit later here if I have a chance. But it reads like this, according to the release that was sent out today by the Big 12. State-of-the-art full LED video sports floor is going to debut for the 2026 Phillips 66. That's a petroleum company. Phillips 66 Big 12 men's and women's basketball tournaments in March at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. The tournaments will mark the first time ASB glass floors LED court technology is going to be used for official competition in the United States, representing a significant milestone in modernization of college athletics. Beyond its use at the Big 12 basketball tournaments, this initiative reflects a shared vision to advance innovation in sports, exploring new ways to enhance competition, fan engagement, and overall game day experience. Now, the video that the conference put out, it was very simple. It wasn't anything grandiose. It was just basically the floor, and then they projected the different images and logos and colors of all 16 teams. So that's, simple, but I would imagine there's other things they can do with that. I mean, this is now, I would imagine, the new video board. Now, only it's what's J-Dub, what are the measurements on a basketball floor? 50. What are the are you in tune with the measurements of basketball floors nowadays?
Nah, I mean, I'd have to look up the actual college basketball measurements. But we are familiar with this floor. We saw it last year. The debut of this floor, DK, was, do you know?
I heard they used it at one of the NBA events.
The only NBA event. So the debut of this exact floor was in Indianapolis last year for the NBA All-Star game. So all of the All-Star festivities, including the three-point shootout and the skills competition and the All-Star game itself, this exact floor was used. I mean, my concern, Mr. Kelly, is the health of the athletes. So if they can be assured that there will be, because it mimics hardwood, that's the terminology they use. So let me just paint a picture for you. So you've played 4.5 months of a college basketball season. You are ramping up for the NCAA tournament. You go to Kansas City to play 4 games in 4 days in the most physical basketball conference in America, where people are going to be leaving blood on the floor to get the championship and maybe vie for an NCAA, and you're going to use a gimmick floor to do that. So fan engagement's great. I know Brett Yormark's ahead of the curve and all this stuff. However, do you understand the headline that's going to happen if one of the top 10, there are 5 top 10 NBA draft picks in next year's draft in this conference right now, DK? If any one of those big names has some kind of serious injury on a court that's not a regulation college basketball court, that's the key there, is the very first time in North America in an actual competition. They've used it for, what is an NBA All-Star game? It's an exhibition, right? It doesn't count for anything, and those guys aren't running at full speed. I'm not here to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just saying, I think it's great. I think it's great they're innovating. I think it's great they're trying new things. And can you imagine the headlines if something were to happen on this gimmick court to these great athletes leading the week before the NCAA tournament, DK?
Yeah, no. I would prefer not to imagine what that would be like.
It's glass.
You mentioned it. It mimics a floor. So I mean, but you're playing. It actually plays as glass, though. I mean, you're playing on a glass.
Well, that's what I mean. Is that what happens when water gets on a glass surface? Yeah. So and players sweat. So it's meant to mimic the same feel, and they've practiced on it. Some of the women's teams in the Big 12 practiced on it. They said it was great. So, again, Nikki Collin from Baylor, she said that their teams had a chance to practice on this exact floor. Now, it may have come, they actually have a bit of an abrasive surface to the glass, so it's not slick. Don't think of it in terms of playing on glass. It has a texture to it. But we all know, I mean, what do you hear when you're watching basketball? You hear squeaks, right? So if you don't have the same level of lateral movement and you can't plant and move left or right, I mean, that's what basketball is. And so I'm very happy that they're making this decision, with the caveat that I hope that they have the best interest of the student athletes at heart, because Brett Yormark's trying to grow his brand. That's only works, DK, if the players out representing the conference are out there on the court. So that's all I got to say about that.
Brett Yormark, in fact, we'll let you know what Brett Yormark had to say in the release that came out earlier this morning, came out around 9 a.m. our time this morning. We'll give that to you when we come back. It is DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290. Want to get your thoughts on this new innovation for the Big 12 men's and women's basketball tournaments. What were your first thoughts when you heard about the glass floor, LED court technology? The video I remember when video boards were good. Now everything's you can just look out onto the floor.
Do you remember NBA Jam?
The game.
Yeah, so if you made 3 in a row, you'd start on fire and the hoop would catch on fire and all that.
Oh, yeah.
It also would follow you around the court with the circle. They do those kind of, the graphics it's no different than the overlay they have in an NFL game, right, where you can see the first down marker and all those things. They can overlay it's not overlaid, though, it's underlaid. It's basically just a giant computer screen, television screen, but it's underneath the court. So if you go back and watch some highlights from last year's NBA All-Star game, you'll get an understanding of what's possible. They really did a lot of really fun things. Speaking from a graphic designer perspective, like what they did last year at NBA All-Star game was great. No doubt. I'll tell you another thing, DK. No doubt it'll be better than that court they had last year, which was probably the worst court I've ever seen on television. The Roman numerals of Big 12, it was worse than watching a game in Eugene. Yeah. And you got to do better than that. Anything could be better than that, what we had last year. So, congratulations on at least not bringing back that floor from a year ago. All right, DK, the sports tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Clones, what do we want when we're craving protein or we need some more energy? Not bars, not sugary snacks, not energy drinks. What we want is beef, pure and simple. So where's the beef? It's in a package of Old Trapper beef jerky. Old Trapper is not your father's jerky. It's not shriveled, dry, and tasteless. Old Trapper beef jerky is made from lean strips of steak and quality spices that are smoked over a real wood fire. So it's tender and it's tasty. It's not tough. And why is it so good? Because Old Trapper is a 50-year-old family business known for their relentless commitment to quality. They take smoked beef extremely seriously, and you can taste it in every single bite. Old Trapper is packed with protein. It comes in 4 great flavors to satisfy all your cravings. Quality smoked meat at its finest that goes with you wherever you go, to the game, to the gym, to the beach. So look for Old Trapper in the Clearview bag. You can see the quality you're buying. Look for it in major retail stores near you. If you don't see it, clones, ask for it by name because no other jerky compares. Old Trapper, what's your beef?
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
O'Reilly. Put your tax refund to good use on vehicle maintenance at O'Reilly Auto Parts. From basic maintenance to a major repair, we have the parts and tools to keep your car on the road. Make 2026 your best year yet by investing your tax refund in the vehicle you already own. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Navy Federal Credit Union can help you dominate debt with the Platinum Card. Transfer your credit card balance to the Platinum Card within your first 60 days and get a 0% intro APR for 12 months. Our members could save thousands of dollars over the promo period. Visit NavyFederal.org/platinum. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. After the intro rate expires, variable APRs are 10.24% to 18% based on creditworthiness. Rates are subject to change. ATM fees for cash advances are up to $1 at non-Navy Federal ATMs. Offer ends 3/31/2026.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed. Plus, free premium delivery with any bed and base. Ends Monday. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Hey, Ron.
Gary.
Gary. William. Ron.
Gary.
Hey.
Okay, we got that out of the way. What's on your mind?
I don't think people should pay their bills.
That sounds
illegal. Let me finish. I don't think people should pay their bill until 2027 for a brand new system from Alaskan AC.
Wasn't this my idea last month?
Yes, but this is this month, and it's my idea.
Hard to argue that logic.
Okay, so the message is simple. Get a brand new heating and air system
installed neatly in just one day
with AeroSeal duct sealing
and inspected 5 ways to Sunday.
All of it, and make no payments till 2027
with approved credit. I'm the disclaimer guy.
So yeah.
Yep.
Now what?
No need to complicate things, right? Start this year out with a shiny new heating and air system
and no payments for a full year.
Seems like we're forgetting something.
No, I did the disclaimer thingy.
Can't put my finger on it.
Oh, schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
That's it.
Can't forget that part.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Fort Lowell and Country Club in Fort Lowell, Swan and Sunrise Drive and Swan. Eastbound Fort Lowell approaching Alvernon. Stay left to get by with some lane restrictions there. Eastbound on Fort Lowell approaching Alvernon and expect some backups. Weather-wise, 53 the low, 76 mostly cloudy tomorrow and 77 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. DK on the Sports Tip. Coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, we'll talk some Arizona women's athletics. Kim Doss will join us from the AZ Desert Swarm. And Suns are on the floor again tonight. They won last night. They'll take on the defending champion Thunder this evening. Southern Arizona continues to be at the focus of national news with the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. We'll dive a little bit into that. Super Bowl 60 halftime show. We didn't really talk about that yesterday. We'll dive into that as well coming up today on the program. Arizona women's basketball loses last night at Cincinnati, so they go 0-2 on their road trip down to the Ohio Valley and look forward to coming home for a date against Arizona State. It is Valentine's Day, so we will call it a date because Becky Burke has asked for you to be her team's Valentine to the tune of 10,000 plus. Now, I have not heard or seen how ticket sales are going for Saturday's first game. It's going to be a busy, busy day. We'll let you know what the schedule is with ESPN Game Day coming to town as well. There's going to be a whole lot going on around McHale Center on Saturday. So be prepared to get down there early and enjoy all of the festivities. We were talking about the announcement, the Big 12 announcement that we had anticipated was going to come yesterday. It did not. It came today, and that is the unveiling of ASB glass flooring for the 2026 Big 12 men's and women's basketball tournaments in Kansas City. Here is what the commissioner of the Big 12 had to say about it, Brett Yormark. He said, "Our goal at the Big 12 is simple. Keep raising the bar. Elevating our league's profile and then adding real value to our programs requires a willingness to push boundaries. Last year, the introduction of the 12 pattern on our tournament court did exactly that. Not to mention it messed up people's eyes. This year, we're taking the next step with ASB glass flooring. The technology represents the future, and bringing it to our basketball tournaments reinforces our commitment to innovation, positioning the Big 12 as a different league and national leader in elevating the game." Chris Thornton is the CEO of this company, ASB Glass Floor America. He says this partnership with the Big 12 is a major milestone for us here in the United States. ASB Glass Floor is engineered to enhance athlete safety while delivering the elite performance standards players demand. Through ASB Arena and event services, we're helping teams and conferences unlock new revenue generation and fan engagement. The Big 12 is setting the standard for innovation, making them the perfect partner to bring this platform to elite competition and shape the future of college sports. ASB Glass Floor coming to the Big 12 tournament here in 2026.
I love a good burger ad while I'm watching the championship game of the Big 12
So, and then that's the thing is
yes, that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, are ads and things going to be rolling as the game is happening?
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a big blockbuster movie trailer it played in the key. Right before the players handed the ball to shoot a free throw. I mean, there's really no limit to what they can do. I would think of it in terms of like the way arenas generally work with the sound they pipe in. Like you can pipe in sound, but not necessarily when the free throw shooting is actually taking place. Right up until that, you'll see DJs spin some loud music, DK, to get the crowd going, but they don't play it actually during the free throw shot. So I would assume that you're going to see quite a lot of whatever the corporate partners are with the Big 12 and the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. I'm sure you'll see a lot of that. I'm sure you'll see a lot of celebration of the conference, of the teams, as you said, having the colors. I'm not trying to be completely negative about this. I'm sure it's a very positive thing in the long run. I also know that the CEO and founder of that company is going to say that they've been engineered with player safety first. I just want to make sure, above all else, because, again, we're talking about the week before the NCAA tournament. We're talking about the week before the biggest games these players have ever played in their entire lives. And you just want them to be as healthy as possible. I was concerned about the Big 12 tournament before the Glass Four was announced, DK, of all those teams getting out of there healthy. Because think about, the TCUs and the Iowa States and the Kansases and the Houstons and the Arizonas and the Texas Techs. There are so many physical teams going to be banging against each other 4 games in 4 days type of thing. You just hope everybody can be as healthy as possible because March Madness is really what it's all about. You don't hang, banners for getting to the, semifinalists of the Big 12 tournament. You make it to the Sweet 16. That could define your season. That could, really get a better crop of recruits in for your program next year. I just want the teams to be as healthy as possible for March. The Big 12 tournament is great, and I think you should celebrate the conference. That's a great opportunity to celebrate the conference for those 4 days. I just want the players to come out of there healthy.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I mean, that is goal number one for any event is to make sure player safety is at the forefront of that.
The product, DK, that like your mark and others keep talking about is the players.
Yeah.
The players are the product, right? I mean, if you don't have AJ DeBonsa, you don't have Darren Peterson out there, then those guys, aren't shining a positive light on the Big 12 conference. That's really the way I see it, is that this time of year, especially March Madness, doesn't need gimmicks because the actual play on the court, the crazy upsets, the Cinderellas, the things that we love about, college basketball in the month of March, they all come from the unknown. They all come from these giant upsets. They come from unknown players from smaller schools like Steph Curry, dragging Davidson all the way to the Elite Eight. Those are the stories we remember, and it has nothing to do with some advertising on the court.
So March 4th is when the women's tournament begins. So we're just about under 3 weeks to go before the ladies get to Kansas City for the beginning of their tournament. The fellows will follow the next week. And again, among the things this court will be used to highlight new partnership opportunities, elevate fan engagement, enhance in-game entertainment during each matchup. Visual effects displayed on the court could include dynamic court design. So that's interesting. They can actually change the look of the court.
Yeah, it's just a big television computer screen.
Yeah, shot charts. So that might be something that you'll see maybe in a break.
Just think of the Sphere, right?
Yeah. The Sphere, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Las
you can
Vegas.
project anything you want onto it. Yeah.
Interactive games for fans during timeouts, immersive animation following key plays and moments. So there you go. That's kind of what it's going to be.
I think a good analogy, DK, is AAA baseball. Right? Like you're a purist. You want to go see a prospect who might get called up. You want to go see some old guy in his early 40s who's had a cup of coffee for your team and might be on his last legs. You want to see him catch his last game. But those AAA, franchises, they need to get butts in the seats. And how do they do that? With a lot of gimmicks. Every Friday and Saturday is some kind of gimmick night, right? So it's for both. I'm not saying that either is right or wrong. There's going to be a lot of excitement about this new court and what's possible. I'm sure they'll do some incredible things. I mean, there's some incredible, artists. And, with AI these days, DK, you could really literally make that court do anything that you want with minimal effort. I'm sure it's going to be great. And I think this event, debuting this type of court on an event that's already going to be quite a very, must-watch TV, I mean, how many top 10 nationally ranked teams are going to be in the Big 12 tournament? Probably 4 or maybe 5. So there's going to be a lot of must-watch TV games anyway. But we'll see. I mean, I like the concept of it. How it works functionally, we'll find out.
DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Want to hear your thoughts on the new ASB glass floor. If you're headed to Kansas City, if you went last year, what do you think of that floor? If you're headed this year, what are you anticipating with this new floor? How soon before that comes to local arenas and the local college campuses? We obviously talked in the fall about the new innovation of the TerraFlex volleyball courts that the Arizona Wildcats obviously moved to that. A lot of schools are starting to move to that TerraFlex volleyball court. That's one thing, obviously, and this is something completely else, but something that could be coming to local schools and to the programs themselves here in the very near future. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704 or jtautoaz.com.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
For over 30 years, Tucson has been putting its trust in First Chiropractic for auto and on-the-job injuries. They're locally owned and a proud sponsor of the U of A radio broadcasts. So if you've been injured, make the right choice. First
Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Wildcat fans, why wait for a great night's sleep? At Factory Direct Mattress of Tucson, you get comfort for life and deals you can't get anywhere else. Shop top-rated brands like the award-winning Puffy, Lisa, and our FDM lineup, all at Factory Direct Savings. No gimmick, no pressure, just comfort that helps you wake up feeling like a champion. Find us at 3936 West Ina Road or at fdmtucson.com. That's fdmtucson.com. Easy to find, easy to say. Stop by today, sleep better tonight, and get ready for Arizona's next victory.
Hear that? That's what having fewer hot flashes and night sweats can sound like. Veoza is the #1 prescribed hormone-free treatment FDA approved for moderate to severe vasomotor symptoms, also known as hot flashes and night sweats, due to menopause. Veoza can cause serious side effects, including liver problems. Your doctor will do blood tests before and during treatment. Stop Veoza and call your doctor if you have symptoms of liver problems, such as feeling more tired than usual, decreased appetite, nausea, vomiting, itching, yellowing of the eyes or skin, pale stool, dark urine, or stomach pain. Don't use Veoza if you have cirrhosis, severe kidney problems, kidney failure, or take CYP1A2 inhibitors. Ask your doctor about Veoza. To learn more, call 1-866-239-1637 or go to Veoza.com. That's VEOZAH.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Okay, get this. Now at Wendy's, you get to go biggie with new Biggie deals. That means going biggie with the $4 Biggie Bites, biggier with the $6 Biggie Bag, or biggiest with an $8 Biggie Bundle. So now you can choose and customize your Biggie deal. As you should. Sorry, I get fired up when I'm talking deals. More Biggie options so you can get more of what you really want at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is just driving the kids to soccer practice. Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Packed full of features with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Come on, guys. No cleats on the seats. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603, 562-314-4603 for more details.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-8448. 800-525-8448. 800-525-8448.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number. The games of the Winter Olympiad happening over in Italy. Let's get an update on what has transpired on this Wednesday.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update of the 2026 Winter Games, sponsored by Grainger. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. The figure skating ice dance competition was always going to come down to the U.S. husband and wife team of Evan Bates and Madison Chock and the French duo of Guillaume Cizeron and Laurence Fournier-Boudry. It just went final. The score was 225 to 224. French win the gold, U.S. the silver. 4 years ago in Beijing, the best hockey player was Juraj Slafkovsky. Scored 7 goals in 7 games for Slovakia, and Montreal later that year took him with the first pick of the draft. NHL players now back in the Olympics, and Slafkovsky scored the first goal, later scored again. Slovakia, who won the bronze in 2022, beat Finland 4-1. Italy has no NHL players. Sweden has all NHL players. Sweden leads Italy 3-2 third period. Italy's having a lot of success in these games. Today, a gold medal sweep in men's and women's luge. John Stanshauer, Westwood One Sports.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Disappointing news there on that Olympic update right there. Madison Chock and Evan Bates, I should say, not winning the gold medal in ice dancing. They had been so fabulous in the team competition over the weekend. They have a 3-time world champions, 3-time defending world champions in that event, have been absolutely dominating ice dancing in the Olympic cycle, but just have not been able to. I think they finished fourth 4 years ago in the Olympics and come up just a tad short this year, finishing second to the French duo of Laurence Fournier-Boudret and Guillaume Sécheron. That happening Wednesday over in Italy. All right, DK on the sports tip, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We'll get into what happened with Arizona women's basketball, trying to get a split of their road trip to the Ohio Valley last night. Right now, though, cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions, 22nd and Country Club and 22nd Street, some westbound slowing. Wreck in the foothills reported at Swan and Sunrise Drive in Swan. Columbus and Broadway, speed enforcement zone. Please watch your speed near Broadway and Columbus. 53, the overnight low, 76, mostly cloudy tomorrow, and 77 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The Colonel despised the word empty. Empty plates, empty tables, empty stomachs. That's why he made the KFC $5 bowls, like the famous bowl. Creamy mashed potatoes, crispy chicken, corn, gravy, and cheese. Because the only empty the Colonel liked was when you reached the bottom of that bowl. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. 5 KFC bowls for just $5 each.
Prices and participation may vary. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge, and Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The Target, 422 Maple Drive. No tripped alarms, no broken windows. While you were sleeping, they made off with $50,000 in equity, and they didn't even use a getaway car.
Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Don't let termites turn your equity into sawdust. We stop the heist before the damage is done. Call 520-201-2000 for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, termites.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Every day is a balancing act. With work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Start your day with the morning jolt of Drake C. Toll.
You've never been a football coach before, so you're not allowed to talk about this. No, I can have burnt mozzarella sticks and say the chef's not working.
Then Black and Abdallah.
Adam Abdallah.
That's what we do. We rank quarterbacks.
Fired.
Okay.
And Westwood One Sports Night caps it all off.
I don't know how they're going to win, but they're going to win. We're open all night here on Westwood One.
Westwood One Sports Talk. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Clicks don't show the full picture, but Cumulus Digital does. We show you exactly who saw your ad by name and address, and our campaigns beat industry benchmarks by over 25%. Visit cumulusdigital.com today to start outperforming.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Get in on the conversation. Arizona basketball, number 1 in the country. Find out if that holds up through the weekend. Texas Tech coming to town. We'll have our Westwood One top plays. And I believe today's is one involving who the folks at Westwood One think might win the Big 12 this year. Are they picking the Arizona Wildcats? Arizona women's basketball on the road lost at West Virginia on Saturday. Things not any better last night in Cincinnati.
Second turnover committed by Arizona as Jackson now comes around to curl and has this one outside the foul line. It's good from 17. 35-20. 2 minutes and 47 seconds left here in the half. Welch this time triggers it for Arizona. Crosses over to get toward the top of the key. Up and down now. She uses a Trammell screen. Go to the right wing. Kitchen now wanted to try to get to the left side, but boy, there's all sorts of contact. This is eventually stolen away with Perry. Throws a pass over her head to Jackson, who's able to score on the Euro. As this one is intended for Adebanjo, but it's deflected by Perry. Stolen away the front court. Crawford able to avoid contact and get the make. 5 straight scored here by Cincinnati after the Wildcats scored the first 4. And now an offensive foul is called, and that's on Adebanjo as she was kind of meandering through the painted area, and that now is officially her 4th. And Jackson's right now just running the clock. Goes to the left, now to the right side, switched and picked up by Ladwig. Come to the near side. As Jackson will put up a three-pointer that rattles down. And a technical foul is called on her, as she rather flamboyantly let a Chol know about it. I don't understand why. I don't understand why. But I've been told I lack flair. Now retreats. 6 seconds, and this looks like that's how it's going to end. Buzzer sounds, and the Wildcats are able to fight in the second half and ultimately wind up succumbing 77-61.
Yeah, you got to stay out of single-digit quarters, and the Wildcats had a not-so-offensive or maybe a very offensive second quarter yesterday where they scored just 7 points, outscored 21-7. In that second stanza after they outscored by 10 in the first, so you're down 24 at the half. End up only losing the game by 16, 77-61. Cincinnati had 5 players in double figures, led by Reagan Jackson, who scored 19. Denia Trammell from Cincinnati, her homecoming. She played 35 minutes for the U of A, went 6 of 12 from the floor, so 12 points and 3 rebounds, but she did foul out. Fouling continues to be an issue for this team. She was the only one that fouled out of the game, but 3 other players came very close, as Samaya Sugapong, Adi Adebanjo, and Achul Magat all all finished the game with 4 fouls last night.
Yeah, I mean, overall, if you look at the box score, they both shot about 40% from the field, pretty even, more or less, on assists and turnovers and so forth. However, the Bearcats, DK, out-rebounded the Wildcats by 20.
Yeah.
And they had 20 offensive rebounds and took 12 more field goals. On the digging yourself an early hole note, I mean, when you're without your best scorer and leading scorer on the season, and it's really hard to ask, but you really need to maintain contact early.
Yeah.
Because the issue there is, like, when you don't have the go-to scorer on your offensive side of the court, you get behind by 10 points in the first quarter. They were down 25-15 at the end of the first. You mentioned only 7 points there in the second half. Down big, down by more than 20 points at halftime. It's so much harder to come back when you're without the firepower that they're missing from the roster right now. So maintaining contact and finding a way, to squeak one out at the end has to be the game plan. And unfortunately, they just gave up way too many second chance points, way too many offensive rebounds, 12 more field goal attempts for your opponent, DK, in a game that is this short.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the end of it. Doesn't matter how well you shoot. The other team shot about the same as you, but you gave up 12 extra field goal attempts. It's hard to come back from that.
And that's a game that you feel like you might have a chance to go in. I mean, Cincinnati is just 9-16 on the season, 4-9 in conference. Well, 3-9 at the beginning. So that's a game maybe you can go in and steal if you play well enough, but just not able to get that done on the road. And after the ball game, Derek Palmer with the head coach, Becky Burke.
5 Bearcats in double figures, including Jackson, who led the way with 19. Bird wound up with 14, most of those coming in the first half, as we're joined by Coach Becky Burke. Coach, the word that we've been using to describe your team or the effort to try to get them to this point is scrappy. Do you feel like they were able to get to that point today?
Yeah, I thought they were scrappy in the second half. I thought we were undisciplined and foul prone in the first half, which is what we've been for most of this year. And
then going forward, you got Trammell, who's got her third straight game, 12 points. How did she do for you on defensive side, though?
I thought she was good defensively. I thought there was some calls on her that were a little bit ticky-tack, but like she has to play aggressive defensively, and she's going to pick up some fouls that way, but it's what we need from her.
All right, thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, that is the head coach after the ball game with Derek Palmer. The Wildcats actually did outscore the Bearcats in the second half in both quarters and total 39-31, but just too big a hole in the first half, and they fall 77-61. So
yeah,
again,
46-22.
Yeah.
That was the halftime deficit.
Yep. So coming back home Saturday against the rival, Arizona State. And again, Becky Burke has asked you to be her team's Valentine. She wants 10,000 plus in the building for game number 1 on Saturday. It is a doubleheader Saturday. It is a day in which the folks from ESPN Game Day, College Game Day, are going to be in here to promote the men's contest. So there's going to be a whole lot happening at McHale Center this weekend. Get on out and support this team because, again, the Sun Devils barked about their big crowd when the Wildcats went up there. They have a little over 6,000 people. And,
yes.
Yeah, basically, Becky said after the game, we get that all the time.
I think they said it was the record for an Arizona ASU game up there, I think is what they said, yeah.
All right, so here's basically Saturday. Let me just run down to you everything that's going to be happening on Saturday. So, again, College Game Day. Doors are going to open at 7 a.m. for the Zona Zoo. We are told that Zona Zoo can begin lining up at 5 a.m. Make sure I'm reading the fine print on that. So 5 a.m. through the Zona Zoo entrance is the earliest that students can start lining up for that. Now, the doors for the general public will open at 7:15, and again, 5 a.m. will be the earliest that fans can start lining up to get into McHale Center for College Game Day, which will go live at 8 a.m., and the show is 2 hours. So it'll go from 8 to 10 a.m. on Saturday. So then I was trying to explain this to my wife last night, and she was like, they got to clear the building like twice?
Right.
I was like, yeah, that's kind of how it's going to work. So,
have you ever taken her to like an NCAA session?
No, but she went to like one of the Final Four workouts when it was in Cleveland. Was that last year or the year before?
Well, I don't know about the Final Four, but with the initial rounds, because I've been, I think, 4 times to McHale when they hosted the NCAA tournament there, and they'll always have the early set. There's 2 sessions, 1 and 2.
Yeah,
there'll be 2 games in the first.
Oh, you mean like the game day session?
Right. So 4 teams play early and 4 teams play later, and they clear the building because the 2 sessions are separate from each other. So there's always a situation like that where they clear everybody out before letting everybody back in.
Yeah. So 8 o'clock to 10. Then everybody will exit the building, and the doors will reopen at 11 for those of you who have tickets to the women's game. So again, if you've got 10,000, they want 10,000 there for that. So 11 o'clock doors, and it'll be a quick tip-off again at noon. Initially, they were supposed to play that game at 11 a.m., but because of obviously game day and whatnot, they've pushed it back to 12 p.m. So 12 p.m., if you did not get that memo, the game is now at 12 p.m., not 11 a.m. as it initially was supposed to be against Arizona State. So noon tip-off for the women. We go on the air at 1 o'clock with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We are hoping to broadcast on campus. We will get that finalized and let you know here in the next couple of days on that. At 1:30 now, Bear Down Bash is going to begin. So Bear Down Bash, that'll be outside McHale Center. That goes from 1:30 until 4. There is also the softball tournament. The Bear Down Fiesta is happening on campus this weekend. So the doubleheader for Arizona on Saturday begins at 2:30. So if you don't have tickets to either of the basketball games, there's still a great competition that you can be on campus for to support your softball team with a doubleheader on Saturday that will begin at 2:30 in the afternoon over at Hillenbrand Stadium. The ladies this weekend on Saturday will be playing the same 2 teams they're going to play on Friday. They'll play Coastal Carolina first, and then they'll play Utah Valley. Then at 3 o'clock or 3:30, so we'll exit. The women's games usually go around till around 2:15-ish. So between 2:15 and 3, all of you at the women's game will exit. And then the doors will reopen at 3:30 if you have a ticket for the men's basketball game, which will tip off at 4:30. Again, we are on the air from 1 to 4 with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day on Saturday, leading you up to that 4:30 tip-off with Brian Jeffries and Ryan Hansen. And then, of course, we'll be back with you at around 7 o'clock for the post-game show till 9. So it's going to be a long day of activities on Saturday, but a fun day nonetheless. So really enjoy it. Really enjoy, because we don't get these many out. This is only the 4th time, I think, Game Day has been here, maybe 5th time, if I remember correctly from last week.
What sign are you going to bring for Game Day?
I'm not a sign person.
Oh, you're not a sign person?
I don't even. I went to one of them. I've been to one of the ones before. I don't, this is the first one since I've been in this position, and with everything that goes into getting ready for a 3-hour show, I don't know if I'm going to be up at 7 a.m. to go to Game Day, but we'll see. We'll see, maybe.
My favorite is is it Washington State?
If my snowbirds say they want to go, then I might go. We'll see. Washington, you said, the Washington game.
Yeah, the Cougars the Cougar flag has flown at every game day for the last 24 years.
That's football. I don't know if they.
No. Yeah. I understand, but just game day in general.
Right.
But I like those kind of things, DK. I like those non. Reese Davis type traditions, like the traditions that the fans kind of come up with on their own. Those are my favorite part of it.
Absolutely.
Signs. That's why I said the signs, all of it. Like those are organic. Those are the kind of things that just.
That's a great question, J-Dub. Like maybe we'll make that a question of the day. If you were going to take a sign to Game Day, what would it say? Apparently, there's already a website or their T-shirts that say that somebody's come up with the Tony Padilla Haters Club. I've been told.
Yeah, that was last week though. It's got to be something that's centered on the game itself.
You think Tony's going to be refereeing on Saturday?
My sign would be something like, "Hey, Toppin, Bradley's coming for your MVP award." Something along those lines. It's got to be something around. Texas Tech is the team that does the tortillas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be something creative like that. That's a little bit jesty towards the Texas Tech team, just because all in good fun.
And here's an interesting question. We'll get into this in the next hour. Why this game and not the Kansas game in a couple of weeks. I'll give you my theory as to why ESPN chose this game versus waiting for Arizona, Kansas coming up later on in the month of March, or maybe the last day of February. I think actually it is the last day of February. DK on the Sports Tip. Want to hear from you today. 520-848-1290. Hour number 1 in the books. 2 more hours to go. Kim Doss going to join us at the 4 o'clock hour. We'll talk some Arizona softball, women's basketball, and all of that with her. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions that are reported: Working Rex, Thornydale, and Overton. River and Stone Avenue and River Road, Houghton and Mary Ann Cleveland Way. Country Club in 22nd Street was southbound and westbound slowing. Earlier crash that was reported in the foothills at Swan and Sunrise Drive. Eastbound backups on Sunrise Drive approaching Swan. For your weather, 53 the low, 76 mostly cloudy tomorrow, and 78 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our beautiful Arizona winter weather brings cooler overnight temperatures, which means some of you are now seeing your vehicle's low-pressure warning light. Colder overnight temperatures can lower your tire's pressure just enough to trigger a warning light. But don't worry, many times the solution is simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. Then get back to enjoying the fantastic winter weather. If adding the air doesn't do the trick, stop by any of our 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with the low pressure warning light, we fix those too. Mention this radio offer for free installation with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. We'll install it in your wheel and rebalance your tires absolutely free. You'll find even more specials to get your car road trip ready at jackfurriers.com. So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just drop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, helping you beat the books with Westwood One Sports. Tonight in college hoops, Florida, a 9.5-point road favorite at Georgia. And Florida, the defending national champions, playing much better basketball as of late, blowing out Alabama recently. Georgia likes to get up and down just like Bama, but Florida's got better athletes, Florida's got better players. Florida wins tonight by double digits. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
En garde!
Ever wanted to try an Olympic sport but think you're too old, too out of shape, too busy, or that those sports are just too unsafe? Think again. Fencing is taking the nation by storm, and it's a safe, fun, engaging sport that's perfect for everyone. Any age, any skill level. Classes are safe, active, engaging, and community-driven. No experience needed, and most clubs offer loaner gear for beginners. Learn more and find beginner classes near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Winter is in full swing, and Aleve is here to keep you moving. When the cold weather sets in, everyday aches and pains can linger, but Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you going with long-lasting body pain relief to get you through whatever the season brings. Chilly days or cozy nights, Aleve gives you that long-lasting body pain relief you can count on this winter. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No. We'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade, Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. We are your home for Arizona athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hour number 2 of our 3-hour show today. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We were talking about just the schedule for the weekend, and there's a lot going on. And as we were discussing that, we got an update to the schedule involving the Bear Down Fiesta, which is the softball tournament, the second softball tournament. Really, it's the first tournament. Last week was billed as the Kendrea Classic, but it was not necessarily a tournament. It was a one-off doubleheader with Southern Utah and then a 3-game series with Oklahoma. This is more of a tournament. Wildcats will play, I believe, 5 games over the course of the 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. However, there is rain in the forecast for Friday. 72% chance of rain. So due to that rain in the forecast, the Wildcats are now going to play a doubleheader against Drake on Thursday, beginning at 3 p.m. So they'll play Thursday, which is tomorrow. Initially tomorrow, they were supposed to play a single game at 5 p.m. They will now play 2 games tomorrow at 3 and 5. On Friday, Arizona will just play 1 game against Coastal Carolina. That will be at 5. The game times for Saturday and Sunday are currently remain the same, but obviously with weather, we'll have to see if that is subject to change. So Arizona softball will now play a doubleheader tomorrow against Drake. First game will begin at 3 o'clock. Second game immediately following around 5. Just 1 game now on Friday against Coastal Carolina at 5 o'clock. So get that ingrained into your schedules. 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. We were also talking about the fact that game day is going to be here. College game day, ESPN College game day will be here on Saturday. And the question that I asked right before the break is why this game against Texas Tech coming up versus 2 Saturdays from now when the Wildcats will host Kansas, because obviously you had, and again, the schedule for this was out well before what happened on Monday night in Lawrence, Kansas. But when you're looking at it, and we've talked about it a number of times on our program, what the new rivalries are for Arizona men's basketball in this new conference. And I've consistently said that, yes, obviously on the basketball side, Arizona and Kansas, largely two of the best programs in the recent century, have that's going to create a natural rivalry there. I think across all sports, BYU is probably going to be more of a rival than Kansas across all sports. But why not 2 weeks from this Saturday when Kansas comes to town versus this game against Texas Tech? And my theory to that is they didn't want to wait. They didn't want to wait because of this gauntlet that Arizona is in right now and the potential fear that Arizona might be staring down some losses in the next couple of weeks. And then you potentially have a game that's not involving a team in the top five for College Game Day versus this Saturday you come to town and you've got the number one team in the country playing against currently number 16 Texas Tech. I think that's why they went with this game. And obviously there's a close relationship between Grant McCaslin and Tommy Lloyd. They coached together in the summer times in the USA basketball circuit. But when we were looking at this and thinking about this over the course of the season, if game day were to come to Tucson, what game made the most sense to me? It was always the Kansas game on February the 28th. That's the game that made sense to me. What's the game that made sense to you? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. The game we got, though, is this Saturday's game, and I think it's because they didn't want to wait. This gauntlet we've talked about, 4 straight games against 4 ranked teams, and the potential that you might have a potentially a 2-loss Arizona team, because they still got to go to Houston as well coming up before they even get to that game against Kansas on February 28th.
Yeah, there is no doubt that's definitely a possibility. I will say also that while Kansas is probably the preeminent program in the country, certainly in the conference, it's either Kentucky or Kansas. That's basically the two. I will say that the team from Texas Tech is much better than the team from Kansas. Texas Tech preseason was ranked 9th in the country. They got the Player of the Year coming back. So there's the issue is the partnership that the Big 12 now has with ESPN, DK, which is not a very old contract. It's always been ACC Big 10, right? So it's always been an SEC. So it's always been the same faces, the same names that you'll see. And I think, back in the day, it might be Oregon, Arizona, it might be UCLA, Arizona, certainly Stanford, Arizona, were the marquee matchups you would see in the pack. I think they're also trying to create new marquee matchups. And I think Grant McCaslin's program down there in Lubbock is certainly one of those programs that has been consistently good over the course of the last 2-3 seasons and, projects to be among the top 5 Big 12 basketball schools moving forward. So I think Arizona, Kansas is obvious. I think Arizona, Houston's obvious. I like the idea of having Texas Tech involved because, JT Toppin is the de facto best player in the league. They clearly were a top 3 team last year in the conference, project to be again this year. So I think it's tough. There's 4, 5, 6 teams right now that have national recognition for their quality of their current team. And then there's those teams like Arizona and Kansas that are, over the course of the last 40, 50 years have been among the best 10 programs in America. So if you're trying to get as many eyeballs on, you want those name brands. That's why Duke, North Carolina sells. I like the idea of spreading it around and having a little bit of limelight shown to some other teams that aren't Kansas, if that makes sense. So I don't have a problem with the Red Raiders coming in for game day at all.
All right, there you go. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Love to hear your thoughts on that. Why you believe, or did you think it was going to be this Saturday? Did you think it was going to be 2 Saturdays from now, or 3 Saturdays actually from now, when the Kansas Jayhawks. Does it matter to you? Are you disappointed that Arizona or game day is opting to come this Saturday versus the game on February the 28th? Speaking of Arizona basketball, one of their alums had a pretty and has really been playing well leading into what's going to be a big weekend for him. Nice performance last night by one Carter Bryant.
Bryant on the outside. Carter Bryant and another slam dunk in the paint. Here's Wembanyama turning, finding Bryant, looking for more. He's in double figures. Dominant Wembanyama first half. He's going to pick up an assist right there. Slam dunk by Carter Bryant.
Carter Bryant last night, 27 minutes as the Spurs went into the Crypto.com arena and kicked the Lakers' ass. 136-108. 16 points for Carter on 6 of 12 from the floor. He had 3 of 8 from 3 in the ball game to go along with 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Carter Bryant is really ramping up for his All-Star Weekend appearance coming up this weekend, in which he is going to be in the slam dunk competition.
Yeah, I mean, Carter has always been ready for the defensive end of things. He's a little bit coming around to the speed of the NBA game. That same adjustment you'll see freshmen make from high school to college. Very fast paced. The reads are much quicker. You have to really and taking care of the ball is at a premium. So, and the other issue there is the Spurs have a really deep wing position. They've got a lot of guys at the 2 and 3 position that Carter plays. The other news that came out today is they just parted ways with Jeremy Sohan. They just released him. He was a rookie 4 years ago, and actually when they were injured, and that was a guy that a lot of people projected would take minutes away from Carter Bryant. But it's really these last maybe 2-3 weeks, DK. Ever since he was sent down to the G League, he's come back with improved focus and confidence. And we all know how well-spoken Carter Bryant is. We all know how he carries himself and what he's all about. Just, putting in the work and making sure that he's ready to go. And lately, he's been getting more playing time and paying it off. And his coach is really happy with the production he's given lately. And his three-point shot, he shot 22% in his first 20 games. Last 15 games is up around 35, 36%. So really quick decision. Catch and shoot. All 3 of those last night, really quick releases.
Good to see by Carter Bryant. Double figures now in 3 of his last 4 games as he starts to ramp up heading in to his appearance at the NBA All-Star Weekend. All right, third member of our team is here. You will see her. You will not see J.W. Madden.
BMW of Tucson Traffic Center. It's Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions reported at Houghton and Mary Ann Cleveland Way, Thornydale and Overton, Broadway and Aviation Parkway, also 22nd Street and Country Club westbound and southbound slowing there. Also at Broadway and Columbus, a reported speed enforcement zone. 53, the overnight low, 76, mostly cloudy tomorrow. Friday, 64 with a 50% chance of rain, and 78 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
All right, before I let you go, Cricket, can you name the singer that sang that song?
Is it Sarah McLachlan?
Sarah McLachlan is incorrect. J-Dub, do you remember the singer that sang that song?
Oh, I know.
Was it Katie Holmes?
Katie Holmes. Paula Cole.
Yeah, sorry.
There you go. See? I was about to say, we got all these DJs in the room and nobody knows the music. At least you didn't watch the show.
Pick a genre.
You didn't watch the show, but at least know the music.
You want to give me some country western trivia? I'm not going to have an answer for that either. Pick a genre that I'm into, sure.
All right.
Your answer was good, Dub.
Well, no, I think Katie Holmes came from that show, didn't she?
I think so.
Yeah,
she did.
Katie Holmes.
She was the female lead. Well, one of the female leads. Anyway, Michelle Williams was the other. Thanks, Cricket.
You're welcome. So I probably played that many times on the radio.
I'm sure you have.
Yes.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help you troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and help you save time and money down the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
The dice are hot and the cash is calling at Casino del Sol. Every day, swipe your Club Sol card for a free entry into our Friday drawings at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and 8 p.m. Plus, every 250 slot or table points gets you an extra entry. If your name is drawn, you'll step up and roll the dice. And if you hit 5 of a kind, you'll take home $5,000 in cool cash. Only at Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui tribe.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Everyone loves to get together for food, fun, and sports. But what's the best spot? I'm Josh Bishop, owner of Fork and Fire, Catalina, and Oro Valley. My brother, best friend, and I have been cooking for one another and for our neighbors for years, and we get to live our passion every day at Fork and Fire. At our Catalina Grill, you'll love the elevated bar fare and barbecue, served in our relaxed and fun neighborhood grill. Fork and Fire Catalina, where great food meets good times and a strong community. Bring everyone on down to Fork and Fire in Catalina and Oro Valley.
We're chatting with our guest, always safety first, 811 Megaphone Man.
Call 811 before you dig.
You never stray from your mission of letting homeowners, landscapers, and excavators know you should always call 811 before you dig.
Call 811.
Call for both small and big jobs. And 2 working days in advance?
811.
Any parting words? And I'm guessing they will be...
Call 811 before you dig.
Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
811.
Hey, man. Yeah, it's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
The American Red Cross is facing a severe blood shortage, and donors are needed right now to make sure life-saving care isn't delayed for accident victims, surgery patients, and those facing critical treatments for cancer and chronic blood disorders. The Red Cross blood supply has dropped about 35% in recent weeks. There's no time to wait. Make an appointment today to give blood by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation. Take action and help save lives.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance, making it easy to save you money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com.
Plus discounts. That's so customers like you keep paying their regular higher rates to boost their bottom line. You deserve better service, with 100% US-based experts, better value, with plans starting at $20, and a company that's built for people 50 plus, like me. Not convinced? Give your current carrier a call, ask about the 55 plus plan you've earned, see how long it takes to get a real person on the line, and if they try to talk you out of it. But if you want something better, call Consumer Cellular. We've got the same great coverage, and our US-based experts can get you switched in about 20 minutes. Switch now to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com for your second month free.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. Don't be one of them. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, get protected today. Call 800-242-3186. Coast One Tax Group, protecting your bank, home, and your sleep since 2008. With hundreds of 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-242-3186. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-242-3186.
Sponsored by Coast One.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Bear down, Wildcats fans. Wildcats Radio 1290 is proud to bring you all of the insights from our Arizona insiders. Our insiders are brought to you by Modelo, brewed for full-time Cats fans. Modelo, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
All right, let's talk about some Arizona women's athletics. We were out at the golf course yesterday for the Thunderbirds Intercollegiate. The women's side of that, Cats finished third behind the Stanford Cardinal and the Baylor Bears. So good to see their season off to a flying start in their only home tournament. Kim Dosh joins us now from AZ Desert Swarm. Kim, I'd like you. Have you been out to see the golf girls at all? I've not. I don't think I've seen you out at a golf event before. You don't? Do you not like walking the golf courses with the ladies?
I'll put it this way. I don't think golf is a sport, okay?
Wow.
I do not cover golf.
Oh, wow. You don't think golf is... Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. All right.
Golf is a game for rich people who have time on their hands.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, moving on to the actual sports then, I guess. Arizona women's basketball falls on their road trip to the Ohio Valley. Kim, what were your kind of top takeaways from the loss to West Virginia and the loss last night to Cincinnati?
Well, West Virginia, I expected. They tend to be very good defensively. They've got a well-rounded program. I think Mark Kellogg does a great job since he's taken over that program, giving it some stability, so no surprise there. I was more concerned with Cincinnati. That was one of the ones I had as, possibly winnable.
Yeah.
When I looked at things ahead of the schedule. And then I'm more concerned about the fact that we keep seeing one of what should be the leaders on the team suspended for games.
Yeah.
Or coach's decision, if that's what you want to call it. But it's obviously, some conflict going on there that's causing those. That's my bigger concern there.
Yeah, Nolani Cornfield did not play in last night's ball game. How have you assessed her season in terms of her play on the floor?
I've been extremely impressed by her, especially for her size. Moving up to power 4, she's one of the best assist players in the league, and one, a very good one across the country. Her assist to turnover is great. When she's needed to score, she's done that. So I think Lonnie is fantastic as a player. My only concerns have been whatever the conflict has been between her and the coaching staff that causes these her to either be pulled or to not start or to not play.
Yeah, and you would think that obviously this is something. I mean, she was with Becky last year, and she obviously knows her well, or as well as anybody on the club. So, like you mentioned, that's something that's very interesting. That there seems to be some sort of disconnect there between the head coach and the point guard. We're chatting with Kim Doss. She is from AZ Desert Swarm. Kim, I want to go back to we've talked about this a number of times in the last week and a half or so, and that was the fact that Tanya Welch was not on the injury report prior to, I think it was the game at ASU that she didn't play. What was your take on all of that? Because she had the ankle injury in the game prior, and I think it was clear to a lot of us that there was a possibility she might not play, but then she wasn't on the injury report or availability report leading into that game, but then they held her out.
Right. I felt early in the season they were doing that too. They said they were bringing her back from the concussion and all. But at times I felt like maybe she was ready, but she didn't play. She was ready physically is what I'm saying. But Becky's got this, she's very hard on, you do exactly what I say. This is very, this is her way of doing things. You do exactly what I say, and if you don't, you don't play. So that seems like maybe it came into play. That was my gut feeling, that maybe there was something in practice, because she said that as well, that, the days before practice determine if you play.
Right.
So that was my feeling there, that maybe it wasn't injury related. Or maybe it was both.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. A great performance in that game against Kansas State by Blessing Adi Adebanjo. You think that that's the kind of play that we can get from her consistently, and maybe not this year because, again, she's just a freshman, but is that the kind of player she can be, you think, moving forward as she grows in this program?
Absolutely. That was a really exciting game for Addie, and you've seen that before in small, bursts. But then she starts to foul, and that rolls, snowballs. So I think if she gets that, how to keep her body under control, how to keep her screens under control, then everything else is pretty fantastic, and I think she's going to be a star.
We're chatting with Kim Doss from AZ Desert Swarm, getting your Wildcat women's update. Kim, let's turn our focus to softball, which started their season this past weekend. I thought it was a really good performance by them against Oklahoma, one of the best teams in the country, if not the best team in the country. Had a chance to steal that series. Unfortunately, just could not close it in the end. My top takeaway is I liked a lot of the things I saw on offense. I'm a little concerned about the pitching and if they have enough of it. We saw 8 pitchers on the roster last year. There's only 4 this year. What's the latest with Riley Holder, and is she the kind of pitcher who can be that number 2 behind Jalen Adams?
I think she can, and what I heard from from Caitlin Lowe when I asked her directly whether she would be pitching this year, because I had heard rumors that maybe she wouldn't, was that she's absolutely will be in the circle at some point. But there was something she was coming back from after fall ball, and she wasn't able to get the kind of work in to be ready for the opening weekend. And from what I saw in high school, I do think she can be that number 2, and I think maybe she can develop into a number 1, you know, as she's older. But Jalen Adams was really the story. She may be the best pitcher they've had in, you know, a decade. From what I saw against top quality, you know, competition. Of course, she ran out of gas there in that third game, but when you face a team 3 days in a row, and she did, they're going to catch up with you eventually, you know, and they did. But I thought she was fantastic. I was really impressed by her.
Serenity Trice. Wow, that girl's got some speed.
She does. And, you know, she and Reagan Shockey are kind of, they're both slappers, but they slap in a little bit different way. And they're trying to teach Serenity to use the infield at Arizona, you know, bounce it a little bit more. And we saw her do that in that Oklahoma, I think it was the last game. She bounced it really high. There was no play because by the time it came down, she was already on first.
Yeah, more of a on top of the ball kind of swing versus slapping it.
Right. Rather than, well, she had like a power slap where you kind of run through, but you don't necessarily bounce it as much. It may be a fly ball, and we saw her getting some outs with those going out into left field, where when she used the, you know, bouncing it more, she had some, you know, a little bit more success there with runners on.
We were talking about, and again, and it's a different game now, Kim, than it used to be. Do you see her as being somebody that could steal 30-plus bases, or is that just, I mean, because, again, there's not a ton of power on this team, so they may have to play more small ball like we saw. I mean, 11 runs on 6 hits in Friday's game. Is she the kind of person who maybe could get up there to challenge Caitlin Lowe's stolen bases records this year?
I hesitate to say that about anyone because I don't think it's about their ability. I think it's about philosophy.
Right.
And even when Arizona has talked about maybe running more, it's turned out they never did. You know, they did against what we want to call, you know, lesser competition maybe. But once it got real, they stopped stealing. So I hesitate to say that about anyone. Reagan Shockey could steal a bunch of bases, but she hasn't because that's not the philosophy.
Kim Doss is our guest, AZ Desert Swarm. Kim, we'll kind of finish things up on gymnastics, assess the start to their season. Big wins over a couple of ranked teams at home, Washington and Townsend. A couple of Big 12 losses, though, on the road to BYU and home against Utah. It's a hell of a home schedule when you look at all these ranked teams coming in, Washington, Townsend, Utah. You know, ASU is going to be here later in the season. I mean, if folks want to see some high-level gymnastics, this is the year to do it.
It is. You know, I'm a little concerned about the team. Not necessarily. I mean, they're in kind of a reload type year. They lost a lot after last season. They have some good talent this year, but a lot of it's very young talent and needs some time. The bigger issue with them is that the NCAA changed rules on qualifying for the postseason this year.
Ooh.
It faces, and they did it like 2 weeks before the season, so it places more emphasis on meets away from home. Arizona did not have extra ones, and they scored very low in their first meet away from home. And now Iowa State has canceled their season, and that takes away another away meet.
Right, yeah.
So Arizona could be in some trouble as far as the team getting to postseason if they don't get things together away from home.
So do we know what they're going to do with that canceled match in terms of they're going to try to get another meet of some sort?
I asked around yesterday, and I'm waiting to hear back about that. I would hope they try. You know, it would have to, you know, it'd have to be kind of breaking into someone else's, and whether it all falls together logistically, you know, for everybody, for them to do that.
Yeah, so that we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. Hey, Kim, so I mentioned we were out at the golf yesterday. They have tacos and tequilas on every Tuesday night at the Country Club. Would you like to join me at the Country Club?
I might do that.
Kim, always appreciate the chance to talk to you. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me, DK. Take care.
Kim Das from AZ Desert Swarm.
Nobody brings you the inside scoop on your Arizona Wildcats like we do. Today's Arizona Insiders are brought to you by Modelo, brewed for full-time Cats fans. Modelo, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions reported at Houghton and Mary Ann Cleveland Way with slowdowns on Mary Ann Cleveland Way near Houghton. Thornydale and Overton and Thornydale. Aviation Parkway and Broadway. Earlier wreck 22nd and Country Club. Westbound backups on 22nd Street approaching Country Club. 53 the overnight low. 76 mostly cloudy tomorrow on Friday. Only 64 with a 50% chance of rain, and 78 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help you troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and help you save time and money down the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Discover luxury at BMW of Tucson, your premier BMW dealership. Explore our extensive inventory, lease specials, and state-of-the-art service. Visit us at the Tucson Auto Mall or at bmwoftucson.com today.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Tobacco Barn presents the continuing saga of Captain Tobacco.
We're here at a local Tucson tobacco store where evil high tobacco prices have gone up yet again.
Look, up in the sky.
I'm Captain Tobacco, here to fight evil high tobacco prices.
My hero.
Remember, citizens, save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products at Tobacco Barn.
Look at those muscles.
Stand back while I hang 5 on these evil high prices.
It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products. You'll pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation. And save up to another $3 off with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
He did it!
That's why I'm Captain Tobacco, fighting high tobacco prices everywhere.
Hooray! My hero.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
Tell them Captain Tobacco sent you.
Oh, brother.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
The dice are hot and the cash is calling at Casino del Sol. Every day, swipe your Club Soul card for a free entry into our Friday drawings at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and 8 p.m. Plus, every 250 slot or table points gets you an extra entry. If your name is drawn, you'll step up and roll the dice. And if you hit 5 of a kind, you'll take home $5,000 in cool cash. Only at Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pasquayaki tribe.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Vegas Raiders head coach Clint Kubiak and owner Mark Davis both said yesterday that they want star edge rusher Max Crosby to remain a Raider next season. But what's best for the franchise is trading Crosby, acquiring as many picks as possible, and building around your young quarterback. The Raiders aren't a team that's going to go worst to first or even make the playoffs, so do what's best for both parties and trade Max Crosby. I'm Adam Abdallah.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
They celebrated the champions today up in Seattle. You will hear it, folks. I promise. You will hear it here. Let me make an adjustment.
Darnold under center. 5 on the defensive line. He gets the snap, turns right, fakes the handoff. Here comes the blitz. There goes the throw, end zone. Caught, touchdown! Caught, touchdown, Barner! The tight end! Over-the-shoulder catch in the corner of the end zone. And we've got our first touchdown of Super Bowl 60. And the Seahawks extend their lead early in the fourth, 18-0.
Yeah, we got I was not sure we were going to get a touchdown there for quite a long time, but we did get one finally.
I always feel like I want to go give Kevin Harlan an oxygen tank because he's like, it feels like there's moments where he struggles to get the air.
Did you see the video? They had they decided to do videos in the booth,
right?
And so he's kind of like one of those guys, and this is always very interesting to me because I did a lot of play-by-play coming up and in the business early on, and I was never somebody. I mean, there are play-by-play announcers who like to stand up, and they're very into it. I mean, Jim Donovan, who was the longtime play-by-play man for the Cleveland Browns. He was a stand-up guy, a lot of gyrations, a lot of arms moving, a lot of action like that, where I was always a sit-down broadcaster kind of thing. I never really was into the whole, movement and that kind of thing. But they had videos of him, and he was all into the gyrations.
You could feel it.
And kind of like John Sterling was also a lot like that, the voice of the Yankees, where he would have moving his arms and putting the exclamation point on whatever he was saying.
Well, I think some people, they talk a lot. Like, I think it's 63% of all communication is your body. So body language is a big thing. And I think some people, Kevin, when I hear Kevin Harlan's voice in moments like that, in big calls, it feels like he's moving around, right? Like, it feels like he's gesturing and doing the whole thing. So, yeah.
So that touchdown was caught by a gentleman by the name of Albert Frank Barner V. Okay, AJ. I don't know how he got AJ if he's the fifth, but
I'm the fourth and I'm JW. So
yeah, there you go. Because he's his father's son. So I guess his father, who was obviously the fourth. Okay, if he wants to call him AJ, then he certainly is obligated to do that. I had to focus AJ because AJ's a homeboy. He's from Northeast Ohio. Went to Aurora High School, which is in suburban Cleveland. He was one of the guys that spoke today at the parade up in Seattle. Here is what AJ had to say.
And I got a few things for y'all. First, we did not care. Second, we still don't care. One more. Third, the Super Bowl Hawks live here.
There you go, AJ Barner. And he kept it clean. I like that. Not everybody kept it clean today in Seattle. AJ Varner played college ball at both Indiana and Michigan. How about that? He started his career at Indiana, and then he transferred to Michigan, where he was on that national championship team.
What a hipster, man.
2023.
He was cool at Indiana before Indiana football was cool,
exactly, man. Right? But then he left. I don't know if he left before it all got good.
At the time. I mean, come on. You got a choice between Indiana from 3 years and 4 years ago, Michigan. Yeah, no.
82 catches this year, 764 yards. He had 10 receiving touchdowns. Always. Again, how about these tight ends? Tight ends from Northeast Ohio. I mean, AJ Barner, Travis Kelce. I mean, we apparently know how to breed our tight ends up in my part of the country.
What's your favorite celebration speech?
All time?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Player, not coach. Player.
Player. All favorite celebration speech all time.
My favorite is pretty obvious.
Probably, what was the Lakers guy that's now the coach? Who
Ty Lue?
No, the Lakers.
I mean,
what's the guy that coaches it? I think he's at Stanford or Cal. Played for the Lakers.
Madsen. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Madsen.
Mark Madsen.
And Mark Madsen's pretty good.
Spanish.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
My favorite, for obvious reasons, was Coach Kerr.
Yeah.
After he hit the shot.
Right.
And he comes out and he's just in his typical sarcastic way, and he's like, well, Michael and Scotty needed me to bail him out again. Like that whole thing, like after he hit the game-winning free throw jumper to win the Bulls the title. And when he takes the mic, it was such the perfect way to say that, like Michael Jordan needed me to bail him out again. That was the best.
Good stuff there. All right, let's give you our Westwood One Sports top play today, and it involves Big 12 basketball.
Brad Evans here to help you beat the Bulls with Westwood One Sports. With Arizona falling from the ranks of the unbeaten, a certain Big 12 team has a real chance of taking the conference in the regular season. The Houston Cougars are dynamite on both ends, excelling at second chances, turnover defense, and shot challenges around the rim. Give me Kelvin Sampson's squad to win the Big 12 at plus 155. Bet smarter, beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
All right, so we'll start off with the fact I'm not sure where Brad got that line from, because it's not quite that high at the bet. If it was plus 155, I might take it, but it's not that high. at the BetMGM, unless it was at one point like in the last couple of days, although that was from today's batch of picks that we got. It is currently, if you want Houston, they are second at plus 115. 115, not 155. Arizona right now still the favorite to win the Big 12 tournament. The Big 12 regular season conference championship at plus 110. So plus 110 if you're playing on the Arizona Wildcats, plus 115. But the reality is that as good as Arizona has been this season and what they've done in climbing to the top and staying at the top of the Big 12 conference, is you're still going to have to beat the man to be the man. You're still going to have to beat the man. And right now the man is the Houston Cougars.
What's their record in conference right now?
The Houston Cougars?
Yeah.
I think they have 2 losses, if I'm not
Let me
mistaken.
double check, just so that the stat I'm about to throw out at you is accurate.
Okay.
They are 10-1 this year.
Okay. So
Last
even with the
year,
Wildcats.
they were 19-1.
Yeah.
So that means that the Houston Cougars have won 30 out of their last 32 games in the conference.
Yeah.
So again, like obviously it's Houston are the big dogs until somebody else takes their title.
Right.
And they it's not like they brought in some, scrubs this year, DK. Kelvin Sampson brought in his greatest recruiting class he's ever had in 35 years of coaching. So Houston's obviously I thought Houston was the favorite to start the year, and despite Arizona's outrageous 23-0 start, they're right there. Houston is a problem.
So do you think, how about this? Do you think Arizona back-to-back college game days? Do you think college game day goes to Houston next week for what could be 1 versus 3, or maybe even, who's 2? Michigan still?
I don't know what their policy
1
is.
versus 3?
I think the bylaws of the Bristol...
is you don't want the same team 2 weeks in a row?
The bylaws in Bristol are only North Carolina and Duke can have game days in multiple weeks in the same season. Yeah, that's the bylaws.
I mean, again, and I asked the question earlier, why not the Kansas game in a couple weeks? Why not wait till next week? And I mean, obviously it's in Houston versus here in Tucson. But man, that game next week, I mean, that's going to be a doozy down in three straight Saturdays. We got heck of games coming up for your Arizona Wildcats. 10-1 Houston on the horizon next Saturday down in the Lone Star State. Interesting stuff there. Speaking of college basketball, we got another play for you today. We mentioned, I think yesterday, we talked about the Florida Gators. I think Brad had... he believes the Florida Gators could end up back on the title line this year, the defending champs who are playing well. They'll play Georgia tonight. Florida is an 8.5-point favorite against the Georgia Bulldogs. Either side is minus 110. So Florida minus the 8.5, Georgia plus the 8.5. Either side you bet, you're betting minus 110 on this one. Now, they told us that we should take the Gators, who are in first place in the Southeastern Conference at 8-2. Georgia is currently just 5-5. That game tonight is in Georgia, so it's in Athens. It starts in about 6 minutes, so you got 6 minutes to get it in.
Bear in mind,
who do you like, J-Dub? Do you like Florida minus the 8.5 or Georgia plus?
I like Florida without a doubt.
Okay.
It's tough. I mean, bear in mind that the Georgia Bulldogs have lost 5 out of their last 9 games.
Yeah.
So that's not a team that's playing great basketball. In fact, 3 out of their last 4 games. So the thing about Florida was never the front court. It was the guards that transferred in, and how quickly could they pick up that system and play to the level that, the guard play for Florida really kind of carried them down the stretch of last season. So, yeah, Florida is definitely in the conversation for national championship contenders once again. I haven't seen Florida play in the last couple of weeks, but I've been reading quite a bit about how their cohesion's coming together. So I think if it's Florida Georgia on the road and it's 8, I'd say Florida by 10 if I had to, first blush type of thing.
Okay, so we're going to not flip that one. We are going to stay with Florida minus the 8.5 tonight against Georgia. Again, that game tips off in 5 minutes or so. So coming up in the next hour. So I hadn't been again. I've got snowbirds in town for the first time ever.
Your own personal
yes. I have my own personal snowbirds here for about the next. Some of them are staying 5 weeks. We put one on the airplane today and flew her home back to the cold and the snow. She was only here for a week. So they wanted to go out to the casino. And I had not been to either of the casinos in a while. So we went to one of the casinos last night, and I wandered into one of the sports books. I'm going to talk about how I would run a sports book if I was running a sports book. I can't wait. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Auto Nation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported at Thornydale and Overton and Thornydale, Houghton and Mary Ann Cleveland Way, and some slowing on eastbound Mary Ann Cleveland Way east of Houghton. 53, the overnight low, 76, mostly cloudy tomorrow, and a 78 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Score major deals on top brands at Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Find your dream mattress today. Their sleep experts are highly trained to find the right one to fit your unique needs. They make sleep easy.
Hey, Ron. Gary.
Gary.
William. Ron.
Gary.
Hey.
Okay, we got that out of the way. What's on your mind?
I don't think people should pay their bills.
That sounds
illegal. Let me finish. I don't think people should pay their bill until 2027 for a brand new system from Alaskan AC.
Wasn't this my idea last month?
Yes, but this is this month, and it's my idea.
Hard to argue that logic. Okay, so the message is simple. Get a brand new heating and air system
Installed neatly in just one day. With AeroSeal duct sealing.
and inspected 5 ways to Sunday. All of it, and make no payments till 2027.
With approved credit. I'm the disclaimer guy.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Now what? No need to complicate things, right? Start this year out with a shiny new heating and air system.
And no payments for a full year.
Seems like we're forgetting something.
No, I did the disclaimer thingy.
Can't put my finger on it. Oh, schedule now at alaskanac.com.
That's it. Can't forget that part.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Join David Kelly today from 3 to 6 at Showtime Cards for Wild Card Wednesdays. Showtime Cards will have live box breaks happening right in the store. You never know what pulls might pop up. Whether you're into baseball, football, basketball, soccer, MMA, comics, Pokemon, Star Wars, or anything in between, Showtime Cards has something for every collector. Catch all the action today, 3 to 6 at Showtime Cards, located on Speedway just east of Craycroft, with Wildcats Radio 1290.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our beautiful Arizona winter weather brings cooler overnight temperatures, which means some of you are now seeing your vehicle's low pressure warning light. Colder overnight temperatures can lower your tire's pressure just enough to trigger a warning light. But don't worry, many times the solution is simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. Then get back to enjoying the fantastic winter weather. If adding the air doesn't do the trick, stop by any of our 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with the low pressure warning light, we fix those too. Mention this radio offer for a free installation with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. We'll install it in your wheel and rebalance your tires absolutely free. You'll find even more specials to get your car road trip ready at jackfurriers.com. So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just drop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age.
making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Average doesn't grow your business. Smart strategy does. Cumulus digital campaigns outperform industry benchmarks by over 25%. You're not average, and your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com today to leave average behind.
Winter is in full swing, and Aleve is here to keep you moving. When the cold weather sets in, everyday aches and pains can linger, but Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you going with long-lasting body pain relief to get you through whatever the season brings. Chilly days or cozy nights, Aleve gives you that long-lasting body pain relief you can count on this winter. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No. We'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade, Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Tune to DK on the Sports Tip weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at iccu.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hour number 3 of our show on this Wednesday. Again, we were supposed to be at Showtime Cards today, but we are not there due to an illness in the Showtime Cards family. So we sending our thoughts out to our guy, George Morris. Speedy recovery. And we are scheduled to be back out there in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today on February the 25th. Back out at Showtime Cards for another Wild Card Wednesday. So I mentioned I've got my own personal snowbirds now. That tells you where I am in life. When you have people that are friends of yours who are old enough to be retired and just want to get out of the cold weather of the East and Midwest.
Sick of shoveling, man.
Exactly.
Shovel.
The lake has frozen over. The lake, I don't think the lake have frozen over since the late 90s. Like there's people actually out walking on the lake. So that's how cold it is in Northeast Ohio right now. So yeah, we have snowbirds out here, one couple for about 5 weeks, some other people kind of coming in and out for weeks and less than weeks at a time. So they decide they wanted to go to the casino. So after the show yesterday, I met them over at one of the casinos, and we were, I'm not a huge gambler, but I'll play a little roulette every once in a while and that kind of thing. So at one point, the wife and one of her friends decided to go and play this. First of all, the slot machines are like. I said to our one friend, I said, what happened to the days of like 777? Because these slot machines now are just insane. It's
I watched that change. It was like basically around the turn of the century.
Yeah.
And because, my family's been in Henderson, Las Vegas since the 1960s. So I spent a lot of time up there. But I watched that change, DK, go from the rotating wheels of the 777 style into the early digital stuff, and then just straight up into Farmville style Flappy Bird, like the style of basically cell phone app store games that you might play on your apps is more the style these days.
We love the term immersive. Like when we go to amusement parks now, everything is very immersive. The casinos are now very immersive. They were playing this Frankenstein game, and I'm like, well, what's the point of Frankenstein? Like, how do you win at that? Like, what's how
Stay
do you
away
know?
from the fire, bro. Stay away from the fire.
Exactly. Like, what's the winning designation on the Frankenstein game? So while they were playing Frankenstein, I decided to go and venture over into the sports book. And literally, so I sit down, J-Dub, and there's like 6 college basketball games. Well, there might have been, I think there were 5 college basketball games and 1 NBA game.
And a wall of television.
That was on. Yeah, it was just like, it's like, I mean, literally, it's just like it's just like basketball overload. And I'm like, I can't keep up with all these screens. And I'm looking at this screen, I'm looking at that screen. And last night, there were a bunch of good games that came down to the end. I don't know if you saw the end of the Purdue game. Unfortunately for the young man from Nebraska, he slipped and fell on the end.
Did you see the conspiracy?
No,
There's video of a Nebraska fan throwing something, and they're
really?
postulating there might be a beer, so they maybe throw a beer,
and nobody
the beer
saw
spot
it?
was where it got slipped on, so that it was an inside job.
Oh God, yeah. Well, there were. I saw people, saying I'd hate to be the managers for that team because I mean it was their home game, and as a manager you're supposed to take care of all the wet spots,
Sure.
and they apparently that wet spot did not get taken care of because the Cornhusker slipped and fell. So that game was happening.
TCU, Iowa State. Yeah, a lot of good games last night.
Yeah, Miami and North Carolina. Miami upsets North Carolina. I don't know if it's an upset, but they beat them. That game was happening. And I think so. And there was another game. The problem I had was that they only have sound on one game.
Sure.
Okay, so there's only sound on one game. And the one game they had the sound on was not like, it was like early on. It was like a game that was in the first quarter or first half,
So the energy coming from the audio did not meet the energy of what you're
did not
watching.
meet the energy of me watching 3 games dramatically come to a conclusion.
Yeah, down
right.
the wire.
Exactly. So I'm like, because and this goes. I've always said I'd love to run. I've never run a sports bar. If I ever get out of this business, I probably will. Well, my next goal is to run a sports bar and to do it right. And to do it like that's made for fans. I always go back to this one story. This was before. What's the name of the parish? Okay, so before the parish on Oracle, have you ever been to the parish?
Yeah.
Before the parish was the parish, it was a sports bar. Okay, I always go back to telling this story. I moved here in 2008, and I want to say the Diamondbacks were in the postseason in 2009. It might have been 2008. Might have been that fall, the fall of 2008. And I go to the parish, which was the old parish when it was a sports bar. And I was on my lunch hour, and I go because I want to watch they were playing a daytime playoff game. I was working with IMG College at the time. So I think I was doing some, rolling up there. I either had a sales meeting or I was prospecting up in that area or whatever not. So I said, I'll hop in here and watch some of the game. Well, I walk in and they don't have the game on and they don't even know the game is on. It's like I am in Arizona. Our team is in the postseason playing in the NLDS and you don't even know the game is on. Let alone not one, you don't know the game is on. 2, you don't know how to get the game on. And from that moment on, I was like, my next life, I'm going to run a sports bar and do it right. I'm going to train my staff to when somebody comes in and asks, can you put this game on? Everyone on that staff should know how to put that game on. And it amazes me. It amazes me that sports bars don't train their people to do exactly what you're there to do, and that's to watch games. I have never understood that. I've never understood that. So this kind of played into that mentality yesterday. I was like, if I was running this sports book, it would be kind of that mentality like the NCAA tournament on the first day when they're hopping around from game to game to game. I'm at that. I'm the guy with the clicker at the sound, and it's like, okay, Purdue, Nebraska. Now, okay, that game is over. Okay, a minute to go in Wisconsin and Illinois. Bam, that game is. We're sound on that game right now. That's how you should be doing a sports book especially if you're going to have 5-6 games on and you got 3 dramatic conclusions happening. Don't give me the game that's in the first half that's not dramatic right now. I want sound on the game that matters, that's about to come to a conclusion, that the guy fell down on the floor and I need to know, well, what happened? Why did he just fall down?
Couple things. Like I got some insider because I've worked at many sports bars. There are two categories. There are sports bars and there are bar sports.
Bars with
and
TVs.
The way it works is that some places, DK, are set up for exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's about the viewer experience. It's about the people coming in and they're sports fans and fanatics. And so obviously the things you described are premium. That's what they want. And then there are places that put a sports bar name on their building and don't necessarily cater to that viewers. It's really just more about the fact that sports bars became super popular. Secondarily, as I've said many times, in the time I did spend working at the Fort Lauderdale Depot was the time where we had the speakers on the tables. So the idea of you being able to listen to whichever, they were all numbered. Yep. Every TV had a number. You could just switch it to whatever TV you wanted to listen to locally.
I still don't understand why that went away.
And thirdly, DK, I'll tell you exactly what happened yesterday. What happened was the nicest person went up to the bartender or the manager and said, could you please put the audio in that game? And that's why you were listening to a game that had just started as opposed to one that was just about to finish. It's just as simple as if there's one source for the audio for the entire room, it's really just whoever butters up the manager / bartender who has the controller who can pick which one the volume's coming out. If you go up and talk to those people and say, if nobody's requested it, would you mind putting on the end of this Nebraska game? Because I can't wait to see this guy slip on the court. Like, I'm sure they would be obliged your request.
Yeah. I mean, that was a really good end. That was a really good game at the end. Purdue. I mean, because that was up and down. Both teams were ahead. Nebraska took the lead at overtime, and then Purdue came back and stole it from them.
Two great teams.
Yeah, that was a really fun game.
In our conference, if you guys missed it, TCU, they scored the final 12 points
to beat Iowa State.
They scored the final 12 points to beat number 5 Iowa State 62-55. So they were down by 8. Right? And they ended up winning the game.
Yeah. So I'm gonna rant one more thing about customer service, because I've always been a huge customer service person. I think, there's we don't have enough people that work in the restaurant industry that know how to teach customer service to their employees.
Care. Yeah. I mean, I've been inside. I've been around a lot of people who work in the service industry, and the people who are there for a check.
Yeah, and that's a good point.
As opposed to people
you can teach the person, but if they don't care, they don't care. So I ordered up the street at Buffalo Wild Wings the other night, and I went to pick it up because sometimes I'm working late here at night, getting these fabulous pregame shows ready for you. So I went to go pick up some dinner, and I go in there and I order. You pick up the order at the order station there, the takeout station. And I go and I give the girl my name, and she basically turned around, looked at the order thing, and then turned back around and said, "Oh, it's going to be a few minutes." Like, you didn't even go pick up any of those bags to see if my name was on it. So, but okay, if it's not there, it's not there. So 10 minutes go by, right? I'm waiting 10 minutes, and my order was supposed to be there at 8, and I was there at right around 8. It was supposed to be done at 8. 10 minutes go by, and then all of a sudden she says, "What's your name again?" And I say, "David." And she turns and goes actually over to where the bags are, and this time she looks, and my bag and food had been sitting there the whole time. So I'm like, and so she hands me, "Okay, here's yours." And I said, "So my bag was sitting there the whole time?" And she said, "Yeah, but it's still warm." And I wish you could have seen the steam coming off my head when she said, "Oh, it's still warm." How the hell do you know it's still warm? Okay? It was sitting over there for 10 minutes. Who knows how long it was sitting there before I actually walked into the building. Teach your people customer service, please. That's my last rant on that for tonight.
That's a good. No, I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, the biggest takeaway for me, DK, is just go and check.
Yeah, exactly.
Just that part.
Yeah,
that part.
Just go and check. Just do your job the way I hope they trained you to do your job. Just go look at the bag, see whose name is on the bag, versus saying just assuming it's not there.
Ugh. I got such a soft spot because I've worked so many, homecomings and family weekends at Frog and Firkin when there were literally shoulder-to-shoulder people, and it's so chaotic in those situations. I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt if I'm in a service industry situation and somebody is slacking on stuff. However, there's a difference between a person not coming to ask if you want your water glass refilled and a person who, does it once and then never comes back and those kind of things. So it just depends. And what I'm really getting at, DK, is it depends if there's 500 other people waiting for their takeout as opposed to you being the only person there and the person isn't really present and paying attention to what's going on. So I think it's if you've worked in any of those environments, you tend to give busy service industry people a little bit of leeway.
Exactly.
However, there's an obvious, I don't give a damn. I'm not here to care. I'm just here for a couple of bucks.
Yeah. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. If you want to get in on any of that, we can chat about that as well. DK on the sports tip. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic. We've got road work that's continuing on Euclid Avenue south of Speedway Boulevard. So by Friday, both directions of travel on Euclid south of Speedway will experience some curb lane restrictions through the end of May. Also expect some minor slowing eastbound I-10 near Park Avenue. And for your weather, 53 the overnight low, 76 some mostly cloudy tomorrow, and is 78 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's new Biggie Deals. Choose one of Wendy's new Biggie Deals at $4, $6, and $8. The new Biggie Deals are bigger and biggier than ever. For a pretty biggie deal, gotta be Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. Life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Everyone loves a backyard barbecue, but who has the time? I'm Josh Bishop, owner of Fork and Fire in Oro Valley and Catalina. My brother, best friend, and I have been cooking for one another and our neighbors for years, and we still get to live our passion every day at Fork and Fire. In Oro Valley, you'll discover bold, smoky brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and many creative dishes, paired with local craft beers on tap and specialty cocktails. Fork and Fire, your neighborhood backyard barbecue, where great food meets good times and strong community. Join us today at Fork and Fire, Oro Valley, and in Catalina.
Our daughter was addicted to pain meds, and for over 2 decades, she was lost to us. We tried to help, but the more we tried, the worse it got. She went to 18 different rehabs. We finally realized that to really love her, we needed to let her go, even when that meant her going to jail. When she got out, she went to Gospel Rescue Mission, and as the days turned into months, we knew we had our daughter back.
If you need help, or if you know someone who needs help, go to grmtucson.com.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected! Also, you forgot to renew your website domain and now you're in a bidding war!
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
There's a Visa credit card out there that gets you $300 cash back, up to 4 times the points on purchases, and comes from your trusted credit union. Buyers rejoice. The ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card does it all and rewards it all. For nights in, out, and everything in between, there's only one card to reach for. Apply today. $300 cash back when you spend $1,000 a month for the first 3 months after opening the card. Visit iccu.com/rewards for complete terms and conditions. On approved credit.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. But I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. The U.S. hockey team is dominating the Olympic stage in Milan Cortina. The Americans capped their preliminary rounds with an emphatic 5-0 win over rival Canada. U.S. captain Hillary Knight earned an assist on the first goal of the game, which tied her for the most points in U.S. women's Olympic history. Layla Edwards polished off the scoring, adding to her historic debut as the first black woman to represent U.S. hockey on this stage. She found the back of the net in the third period for her first career Olympic goal.
I'm hoping it just shows that, the representation matters, but to represent at the highest level and be successful, I think it's really important. So to have that bit of success in this tournament, I think hopefully it will just show more young girls of color that if they can see it, they can be it.
The U.S. will be the top seed for the quarterfinals, which begin later this week against host country Italy. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amy Lawrence on Westwood One.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Stay connected while you're on the go with the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. Listen to Arizona Wildcats play-by-play with Brian Jeffries. Get the latest news on your teams and more. It's all in one place. Download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app from the App Store or Google Play today. The Wildcats Radio 1290 app is sponsored by Goodfellas Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Thanks to those folks out there for jumping on board with us. Show the Wildcats Radio 1290 crew your app when we are out, and we'll tell you how you might have a chance to win $100, like Susan or Anna or Sarah or John or Alyssa or Alicia. Alicia was our winner in January. So congratulations to Alicia. A lot of women, a lot of ladies. I think we've only had two fellas win. So actually, Alicia ended our fellas winning streak there. Brendan and John had won in November and December before Alicia won in January. So download the app. Sometimes it'll give you good news. Sometimes it will give you bad news, like today. D-backs outfielder Corbin Carroll is going to be out a significant amount of time after he broke his right hamate bone during live batting practice. Carroll is famous for being in camp early. The position players don't have to report till Sunday, but he was already there taking live BP and suffered the injury. He is scheduled to have surgery today and is going to be out of the World Baseball Classic, so he will not be competing for Team USA.
How rare is something like that? I mean,
it happens all the time. It's like the worst. It's like the one injury. These guys snap their hands so much swinging the bat that it's very easy to break that. A lot of guys break it on hit by pitches,
right?
But some guys break it on the swing because they just snap their wrists so.
The kind of stutter where you go to swing and you stop, and the ball hits you in the hand, right?
So yeah, it's a very common injury actually in Major League.
I meant more like live batting practice, like how often like players will get injured and not in a game. And especially 5 days before you're meant to report.
Right.
But yeah, just obviously so huge for that organization. So get well soon.
Yep. Two-time All-Star, hit 259 last year, had 17 triples, led the majors in that category. Bounce back season, 31 homers, 84 RBIs, but hopefully he'll be ready to go by the beginning of the season. But sometimes those hamate bones can go a couple of months, so we'll see what happens with our guy Corbin Carroll. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's hear from our guy Paul in Phoenix. This is DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wow, you kind of struck a nerve back with your previous segment, David. I can see it now. You come up to a hamburger establishment here in Tempe after a big game, Wildcats win, and you go to the counter and you go, I'd like a hamburger and fries and a drink, and then the ASU graduate behind the counter says, would you like some fries with that? So I could see the steam coming off you for sure.
Yeah, well, let me give you my version of that. Let me give you my version of that one, Paul. When I go to my Subway around the corner here, and I tell them I want the steak, the steak with no cheese, and 2 seconds later she'll say, "What kind of cheese?"
None.
Did I just say steak with no cheese?
I had a dear friend. We would go out for burgers at lunchtime, and he couldn't eat cheese. He would tell him, no cheese. And we laughed about it all the time because he would get back to the table and there'd be cheese on the hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my goodness! And he'd have to go back. And he's like, guys, Anyway, hey, but real quick, I have something that came up on the sports up here. There was a question that came up before that Kansas-Arizona game Monday night that the what's the kid's last name, Peterson, who didn't play, had the flu symptoms.
Right.
Okay. Supposedly, he was trying. Again, I'm somebody's got to have to research it. I'm hearing what I only heard. This is third, fourth hand, right? Supposedly, he was trying to play and wasn't really being effective, and something to do with Bill Self kind of said, "Hey, if that's how you're going to be, then just get out and go."
I saw that. I saw that report. Yes.
Okay. Well, but supposedly then later on he was sitting, of course, probably behind the bench. Somebody took a picture of him sending a text message to somebody else, and it was not a nice text like, "Oh, poor me, I'm sick, I'm not feeling good." It was more like kind of like I'm sitting out. I was kind of, it just like it wasn't a happy text, to say the least. So it's like I'm wondering if this kid's going to play for Kansas in the next game. It'll be very interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. Will Bill Self turn the other way and say we need him, or we've won 8 in a row? I think it is something like that. And granted he was a part of it, but we did beat Arizona without him. So do we let him sit on the bench? Is there some animosity there? I guess you could say. Kind of interesting. So
it's a very interesting situation. I don't. And I said yesterday. I think it was yesterday on the show. I said yesterday, if I'm an NBA GM, I've got concerns. Yep. I've heard all the stories about how great he is, and I was anxious to see him play in person. But if right now, if this is just me, this is me doing if I was GM of the Suns, but of course the Suns aren't going to be picking that high. Who's the worst team right now? Who's the worst team?
Well, they're kind of like at a race to see who can be the worst team because, like, basically 1/3 of the NBA is tanking right now.
Yeah.
Utah.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
Utah's trying real hard. Utah hasn't played their starters with the lead in the
Well-
fourth quarter in 2 months.
Well, that's easy. If Utah has the top pick, we know who they're taking. They're not even going to
Yeah,
sniff.
AJ,
Darren
they
Peterson.
want AJ
Come on.
pretty bad, yeah.
they're going to. That's like the Cavaliers tanking to get LeBron.
Right
there.
Right. You're right. That's true. So, but who would you take?
Oh, I would absolutely take AJ Dibonsa.
Would you?
Yeah.
You think? You think so?
I would absolutely. Right now, based on what I've seen, I'd absolutely take AJ.
I don't know. I think there's somebody else that's going to emerge. There are too many. There's too many good kids out there and young men, whatever they want to call them. But it's going to be. I enjoy the NBA. I'm a Suns fan, but I'm looking forward in about 3 to 5 years. When you're having this talk show still, and we're talking, and you'll be like, "Wow, look at the NBA! We've turned over. We've gotten rid of the old guard. We got the new guys in, and it's fun. This NBA is going to be fun. There's so many good kids.
It's already happening. Like, if you just look around the league right now, it's not, LeBron. It's not the guys, LeBron and Steph. It's Cade Cunningham and Devin Booker. Like, the next generation, those guys who are, it was supposed to be Tatum, right? And he's out for the season.
Right.
But there's
Yeah,
already,
that's true.
how about Victor Wembanyama, right? Like, there's a lot of guys who've been drafted within the last 5 to 8 years who are already on the verge of being the faces of the NBA. And, those old guys are going to, LeBron is 42, right? Like, LeBron, will play as long as he wants to play. But back to Darren Peterson. The thing is that if Kobe Bryant's on your bench and he wants to play, animosity or not, right, from previous games, Bill Self is going to play him. He is the singular best offensive talent in the entire nation, and there is no question about that. The issue that we haven't really gotten into is not that he's sitting out, DK. It's that he sat out for 9 different reasons.
Exactly.
Calf, hamstring, flu, cramping. It's a litany of different excuses for reasons why. But at the end of the day, Paul, it's like when you have a player who is the best offensive player in the nation, as long as everybody's on the same page and you're not being detrimental to the team, he's going to suit up and he's going to play because the best version of the Jayhawks has Darren Peterson in their lineup. Relative to drafting him as a GM, you really have to look at the Kyrie situation, look at, Zion Williamson, 2 guys who were also, number 1 surefire draft picks that only played 10 to 15 games in college because of injury issues and sitting out. And you have to figure out, long term, what you see in the kid's character and whether or not this is just him, an abundance of caution because he's making $4 million, $2 million this year, $3 million. He's about to make $8 million next year and then exponentially more later. So I think his camp right now, everybody knows he's the de facto number 1 pick in the NBA draft. So that's a part of the conversation too.
Who does Kansas have? Do they have a game Saturday?
I do believe they do. Let me see if I can find that real quick here for you.
But I will. While you're looking that up, I'm just going to say, I'm looking forward to Bradley and Koa Pete stepping up Saturday because I have a feeling those guys are probably kicking themselves, going, oh, they have the Cyclones.
Yeah, they're at Iowa State on Valentine's Day in the morning, and that's on ABC. That's on national television.
Yeah.
And Iowa State's coming off, like you said, that game last night with Texas.
They were looking ahead to Darren Peterson.
Ooh, they were. Guys, thanks again. Yeah, David, watch out for those orders. If they're sitting too long, it would have been funny if you would have been able to just look at it and go, you know what? I changed my mind. I want a different item. I'm willing to wait.
That would have blown that little teenage girl's mind. That would have blown
you guys
her
take
mind.
care.
Thanks, Paul.
Bear down, guys.
Appreciate it. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. And just so he mentioned the text on the phone. Now that was not Darren's phone. It was somebody that was sitting at the scores table that was apparently texting on their phone, and somebody was recording it from behind them, which is shady to begin with. And I kind of also I saw that, and I'm thinking to myself, is this maybe real or is this not real? Because again, so many things can be manipulated nowadays that I didn't necessarily believe. I mean, you can make it look like somebody is somewhere and and then but that's not really the case. So I kind of took a little bit of pause with that whole text thing but I did see that video that was circulating on the interweb.
I mean, look, I'm going to be completely honest. I just don't care. Like, Darren Peterson is good for the game. Darren Peterson, if he plays 30 games this year, is good for college basketball. If he doesn't, and again, I'm not a Jayhawks fan. So if I was a Jayhawks fan, I'd have a different opinion. But whether or not he suits up every game or every other game or no more games for the rest of the season, personally, I don't care. So the number of people that put energy and effort into that kind of thing, deciphering body language, and let's look over somebody's shoulder to see a text to see if he's mad at Bill Self or any of that stuff, DK, I mean, one of two things is going to happen. The young man is going to figure out that he wants to play and needs to play as many college games as possible, or the same old. He's going to play a game, sit out a couple games, play a game, and so forth and so on. I would just like to see, for the benefit of college basketball, a player of his talent level play in the Big 12 tournament, play in the NCAA tournament, because as we all know, people are barely waking up from their sleep of the NFL season that just ended to maybe kind of dip their toe in and have a little bit of interest in college basketball, but that doesn't really ramp up until rivalry, the week before conference tournaments, and then into the NCAA Selection Sunday and beyond, when everybody gets crazy about it. So it's better for college basketball if he plays, but whether or not he plays or doesn't play, DK, I mean, personally, I don't care what the texts are about.
Yeah.
That's between him and his coach. They'll figure it out. I hope he plays, but if he doesn't, that's on him.
Joe, we'll get into this. There was a On3 had a story about this whole thing today, and they talked to a NBA GM, and there was one line that I want to get into. I thought was brilliant. We'll do that in our next segment. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. We'll also hear what Bruce Pearl had to say about Darren Peterson. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collision at 22nd and Columbus and 22nd Street. Also some slowdowns, Broadway and Swan, westbound Broadway at Swan, northbound slowing on Swan at 5th Street. Some usual slowdowns for travel on Swan at Pima, also for Swan at Grant Road. And for your weather, 53 the overnight low, 76 mostly cloudy. Tomorrow on Friday, 64 the high with a 50% chance of rain. 77 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Never wait to see your family doctor again. At My Doctor Now, you don't need to take time off work or even schedule ahead. Open 7 days a week. It's your family doctor. Available same day, every day, guaranteed. Go to My Doctor Now, your same-day family doctor.
Tobacco Barn presents the continuing saga of Captain Tobacco.
We're here at a local Tucson tobacco store where evil high tobacco prices have gone up yet again.
Look, up in the sky.
I'm Captain Tobacco, here to fight evil high tobacco prices.
My hero.
Remember, citizens, save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products at Tobacco Barn.
Look at those muscles.
Stand back while I hang 5 on these evil high prices.
It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products. You'll pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation. And save up to another $3 off with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
He did it!
That's why I'm Captain Tobacco, fighting high tobacco prices everywhere.
Hooray! My hero.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
Tell them Captain Tobacco sent you.
Oh, brother.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-525-8448. 800-525-8448. 800-525-8448.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Wildcat fans, where do you go when the final buzzer sounds? You don't head home. You head to Roadhouse Cinemas and Roadies, Tucson's home court for great food, craft beer, and nonstop fun. At Roadies, you can bowl, throw an axe, play arcade games, or grab a burger while the next game plays on the massive screens. Then, catch the newest movies right next door at Roadhouse Cinemas with luxury recliners and full in-seat dining. Game days, movie nights, anytime. Make it a win at Roadhouse Cinemas and Roadies on the corner of Grant and Swan.
Our daughter was addicted to pain meds, and for over 2 decades, she was lost to us. We tried to help, but the more we tried, the worse it got. She went to 18 different rehabs. We finally realized that to really love her, we needed to let her go, even when that meant her going to jail. When she got out, she went to Gospel Rescue Mission, and as the days turned into months, we knew we had our daughter back.
If you need help, or if you know someone who needs help, go to grmtucson.com.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Could the Seahawks repeat as champions? Now that the dust has settled on the Super Bowl, we can look to next season, and it's not surprising that the two favorites to win are once again the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. The Buffalo Bills have the next closest odds, followed by the Philadelphia Eagles, New England Patriots, and Baltimore Ravens. The last time we had repeat champs were the Chiefs in Super Bowl 57 and 58. I'm Adam Abdallah.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-575-6879. 800-575-6879.
Push.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Niederhauser. Mathurin finds a wide open Derek Jones Jr. for 3, and Jones knocks it down, brings the Clippers to within 2. Mathurin in the corner, baseline drive, a look out to the rim and in. Welcome to the family, Benedict Mathurin.
Benedict Mathurin, no longer an Indiana Pacer, now a Los Angeles Clipper, making his debut on the West Coast.
Last night.
Yeah.
So here's a fun fact, DK. The final game Benedict Mathurin played with the Pacers was on the 2nd of February.
Yes.
That was versus the Houston Rockets. Last night in Houston, they played the Houston Rockets. Tonight, in about 15 minutes, they're playing the Houston Rockets. So that
For
means that
3
Bennedict
games?
Mathurin will play 3 consecutive games versus the same team. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life.
Wow, that is impressive right there. Wow. I think they've got him game planned. I would say they have him game planned. You think?
That's a tough D too. But I'm looking forward to Ben getting some shots up. He's going to have more freedom there in Los Angeles. So I'm excited to see the journey with the Clippers.
There you go. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. We'll get back to the to NBA. The Suns have a big game tonight, coming off a win against the Mavericks last night, and they'll get the Thunder this evening. But I do want to finish up a little bit of what we were talking about, Darren Peterson and his situation. Although Tommy said, don't make it about Darren Peterson because, again, we shouldn't make it about Darren Peterson.
He didn't play, yeah.
Didn't play. But On3 did a story, and they asked a NBA GM, and I thought he had a great quote here in terms of, college programs, how they're building their rosters, how they're spending their revenue share. And the quote was, is one $3 million freshman worth more than 3 $1 million players who are fully bought in for a full season?
Yeah, so the premise is the first guy's not bought in.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a guy who's there a third of the time and 3 guys who are there all the time, I mean, even just in practice and having, bodies to run up and down Richard Jefferson Gymnasium, DK, I think, now, that being said, Darren Peterson is not a $3 million player. Darren Peterson is a $15 million player. Like, that is the best recruit in the nation. AJ is right in that same conversation, but yeah, he's a big difference maker. But as far as I'm concerned, I want buy-in, number one. Like, buy-in, and you have to want to be where your feet are, right?
Yeah.
In order to be a contributing factor in something that's bigger than you. In a program, football, basketball, doesn't matter. You're just one of many. So yeah, you got to have buy-in. I would rather have guys with buy-in than not.
Absolutely. That's where I'm coming from on that right there. Let's hear Bruce Pearl, who coached college basketball for a number of years, stepped down this year at Auburn before we had a chance to go and welcome them here. That would have been fun to see Bruce Pearl coaching at the McHale Center, but we did not get a chance to see that.
Son.
Yeah, it was his
We saw Pearl, but
Stephen
not
Pearl.
Bruce.
Here's what he had to say about if he was an NBA GM right now in terms of Darren Peterson.
They're really good with him. They're really good without him. The difference is he doesn't have the ball in his hands when he's not playing out there, so the other guys have got to do more. I don't think this is going to affect his draft stock because I think everybody that I talk to in the league, he still looks like the number one guy. But if I was coaching in the NBA, I'm sorry, I would have some concern. Missing 11 out of 24 games for hamstrings and quad pulls and illness, just a long list of different things. My job is to coach a team. My job is to win championships. General manager got to make another decision. I would be a little concerned about, just how tough he is.
Best ability is what, right?
Yep.
Availability. So, I love Kawhi Leonard. I think Kawhi Leonard has kind of been the de facto best player in the NBA the last 10 years, both two-way player. But he's only played 40% of the games, right?
Yeah.
So that has to be in the equation. If you're going to draft a guy number one in the modern NBA, it has to fit your skill set that you're looking for, but he has to be a guy that you can rely upon to be there for those 3 years of that rookie contract and change your franchise around.
Did you know, J-Dub, that you can, I don't know when this happened, but I would imagine maybe happened on a Monday because things happen on Mondays.
Or
Did
Fridays.
You know now you can put graphics on your polls on Twitter?
I did not.
Yes, you can. I went to go do our question of the day, and there you can now upload a graphic to your choices. So whatever your choice is. So now I've this is bad because now I'm normally something that will take me 2 minutes to put up. Now it's going to take me 10 because I'm searching graphics to put on it.
No, all you have to do is ask your favorite AI program to make you a
your
graphic. Yeah. Can you give me sad Darren Peterson sitting in the green room not getting drafted? Please.
So real quick, before we get to our Casino del Sol replay of the day. So my question of the day, we'll leave this up through the beginning of tomorrow's show, is what we were talking about earlier in this hour. Should ESPN have picked Arizona Texas Tech for game day, or should they have waited for Arizona Kansas on Saturday, February the 28th? I want to hear your thoughts on which game you believe they should have chosen. I'm about to make that live right now, so it'll be actually around 22 hours, and what do we got, about 11 minutes to go. So that'll be how long it will be live for going into tomorrow's show. All right, let's give you your Casino del Sol replay for today.
The Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, don't forget, after us, you can head on over to KTUC, Freedom 1400. Catch the last half hour of the Becky Burke radio show. That's happening right now over at the Union Public, not the Union Public House, over at the Sands Club on campus right now. Becky Burke and company, along with Derek Palmer, always a great listen to that show right there. All right, the Suns play tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder, looking for playing the second half of a back-to-back after beating the Dallas Mavericks last night at home. The Mavericks, I think they've lost like 8 games in a row now or something like that. They're 19-34. Has not been a great year. 120-111 was the final score. The good news is, and this was one of our questions last week, I don't know if we'll have to, after we hear from Jalen Green, we'll have to bring that to a conclusion because I don't think we ever did. Jalen Green played 20 minutes in the game, so he's back before we thought he would be. At least Dragon Ball had thought that he probably would not play again until after the All-Star break, but he's back obviously before the All-Star break this weekend. 20 minutes, 12 points, 5 of 14, 2 of 8 from 3 for Jalen Green, who talked after the game about the frustration that has been the injuries that have kept him off the court this season.
Congratulations on the victory, Jalen, and just tell us how you're feeling right now, getting your legs under you. You took it strong several times tonight, looking pretty fresh out there.
Yeah, like you said, I'm trying to get my legs under me, but it's all part of the process. You know, I'm glad we got the win tonight, and hopefully we get this win tomorrow and then go to All-Star break and hit the ground running from there.
Jalen, how frustrated are you? You know, you go back 82 games the last 2 years, 76 before that, and now you're dealing with this injury. How frustrating is it coming over to a new team and seeing the success these guys have had, and every time you step on the floor, you make contributions, and it looks like it'd be so much better. How frustrated were you with this injury?
Super frustrating. You know, I know I can bring to the table, and you know, this year just wasn't my year to be healthy, and you know, it's all part of the process. I'm never gonna question God. It's always God's plan, and you know, I'm just gonna keep working and get back to myself so we can get to these playoffs.
Well, it definitely has been a tough bit of adversity that you faced, but here you are, you're back. Now you're coming off the bench, and I don't know if this is a long-term thing. You started the first 307 games of your career.
Yeah.
How different of a mentality is it for you here?
It's very different. Like you said, from the injuries to, you know, coming off the bench to getting my legs back under me, it's all been a mental challenge for me. But hopefully that's not going to be the long-term thing coming off the bench, and, you know, hopefully I get back to myself sooner than later.
Today's Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
Jalen Green after last night's ball game. Now, I'm trying to find the question of the day we did last week on that. I wish there was a way to quickly find these things, but it was whether or not Jalen Green would play more than 20 games because he'd only played 5. So that was last night was his 6th game.
Right.
But good to see him back. Like we said before, we projected he would be back, and good to see him back out there and flowing with the Suns.
Speaking of sitting out and streaks, did you hear what happened yesterday?
I don't know that I did.
Well, there's a guy, you might have heard of him. His name's LeBron.
Yes.
And he has been on an All-NBA first, second, or third team for 21 consecutive seasons. And as of last night, he sat out, meaning that he cannot meet the 65-game threshold and will not make the All-NBA teams this year, breaking the 21-year streak for LeBron James All-NBA.
Wow. There was talk about whether that would happen and whether or not he would be able to do that for an entire career, but unfortunately he will not.
I love the 65. I mean, we're talking about tanking. I mean, we were joking with Paul a little bit, but it's a legitimate concern right now. I'm not kidding that the Utah Jazz have had 10, 15-point leads quite a lot the last 2 weeks and have sat their entire starting lineup during the fourth quarter. And their coach has been asked about it, DK, after, and he said, you ever think about bringing the starters in? He said, no.
No. All All right, real quick, 80% of the people voted that Jalen Green would play more than 20 games this season. So 6, he only needs to do 15 more. That's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to Kim Doss for joining us. Thanks to JW Madden, Cricket, Dragon Ball had the day off. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, 3 o'clock, right here, DK on the Sports Tip. You are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the AutoNation Honda and BMW of Tucson Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Collisions reported Swan and 22nd Street in Swan, Orange Grove and Thornydale. Downtown 6th and Pennington Street and 6th Avenue. Also roadwork, I-10 near Emperita Road, left lane is closed through the spring. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Get a jump on your spring to-dos at Lowe's. Get 4 bags of Skate Green 2 cubic foot mulch for just $10 and 3 bags of Miracle Grow 3/4 cubic foot garden soil for just $10 too. Valid through 2/18, excludes Hawaii while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Hey, Ron. Gary.
Gary.
William. Ron.
Gary.
Hey.
Okay, we got that out of the way. What's on your mind?
I don't think people should pay their bills.
That sounds
illegal.
Let me finish. I don't think people should pay their bill until 2027 for a brand new system from Alaskan AC.
Wasn't this my idea last month?
Yes, but this is this month, and it's my idea.
Hard to argue that logic.
Okay, so the message is simple. Get a brand new heating and air system
Installed neatly in just 1 day.
With AeroSeal duct sealing.
And inspected 5 ways to Sunday.
All of it. And make no payments till 2027.
With approved credit. I'm the disclaimer guy.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now what?
No need to complicate things, right? Start this year out with a shiny new heating and air system.
And no payments for a full year.
Seems like we're forgetting something.
No, I did the disclaimer thingy.
Can't put my finger on it.
Oh, schedule now at AlaskanAC.com.
That's it.
Can't forget that part.
En garde! U.S. Olympians do it, your neighbor's kid does it, and yes, it's the only socially acceptable way to carry a sword, fencing. No, not the kind that keeps dogs in. This is the Olympic and Paralympic sport for all ages. Fencing is fun, safe, and welcoming. Physical chess that builds both body and mind. Kids and adults make friends fast, stay active, and even open doors to college programs nationwide. Learn more and find beginner classes near you at usafencing.org/tryfencing. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance, making it easy to save you money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
The proud and honorable men and women of our military are still overseas sacrificing their lives for our country. Please don't forget our brave heroes. And if hiring, please consider hiring a veteran.
This message paid for by R&R Restoration LLC of Tucson.
They're specializing in classic car restoration. Let over 35 years of experience go to work for you. Call R&R Restoration LLC today at 520-308-2171 or visit oldguysrestoration.com. That's R&R Restoration. People who care.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The American Red Cross is facing a severe blood shortage, and donors are needed right now to make sure life-saving care isn't delayed for accident victims, surgery patients, and those facing critical treatments for cancer and chronic blood disorders. The Red Cross blood supply has dropped about 35% in recent weeks. There's no time to wait. Make an appointment today to give blood by using the Red Cross Blood Donor app, visiting redcrossblood.org, or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation. Take action and help save lives.
Hey, man. It's me, your furnace, man. Hey, can I get a light here, man? I know we live in Arizona, so I understand I'm not, like as cool as your air conditioner. but I still need a tune-up at least once a year, man. So get the best in town, man. Goodfellas AC, bro. Hey, anybody smell that, man? I swear it wasn't me. Okay, it was me.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Nobody covers your cats like we do. We are the home of your Arizona Wildcats. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.